is Rope Break, a professional wrestling podcast. I am Alex,
Peter Wesley.
and that is Peter. Oh wow, what a week in professional wrestling that we have had. We have had a pay-per-view level Monday Night Raw with Raw on Netflix. Man, let's just get into it. The show started with the final boss, The Rock, and before that, we had a beautiful package where they paid homage to professional wrestling, well, WWE's greatest characters, past and present. Man, I thought that was it was an emotional package for me to see my favorite wrestler featured to the only chairs he would probably ever get for the rest of his life. But we'll get there when we get there, brother.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I
But
wanted to talk about that. So you did like that package.
yeah. I thought the package was good. What were your thoughts on it?
I didn't have a problem with it. I think I might have been annoyed when it played, only because I Triple H had posted it on his social media hours
That's true.
before.
That's true.
So I was like, I already seen this. But I was watching. I guess so other than that, I didn't have a problem with it. But I was watching Stevie Richards' podcast, and
Hmm.
he had an issue with it. And it was something that I didn't. And I think, personal opinion, I think maybe it's just like a older wrestler, like old head type thing. Because he was complaining about Triple H mentioning worked and shoot and and heel and face,
Yeah. I
which
heard that
he talked about it during the press
press conference.
conference where he was just like, he's like, we don't, we're not, we're not, we're not. I forgot what he said, but pretty much we're not playing pretend. But I mean, I didn't think any of this was new, so that didn't bother me. But I was wondering what your take was that since I guess older wrestlers might feel a way about saying these terms, which they're not saying it necessarily during the show. I guess my only thing was I didn't feel like this whole like weird. It felt I want to call it a. It was kind of like a circle jerk. Like he was just like this idea that like that they in Triple H and Vince McMahon to a degree, but like they like to make things where they hype up WWE wrestling as if it is this Oscar like presentation.
Yes.
Only to 3 segments later, it's something goofy going on. Like it's
I
so
agree.
I just like I just I'm gonna love this regardless, but like I just feel like sometimes we shouldn't try to take ourselves too serious. Just like Paul Heyman was on the press conference, like, yeah, Roman deserves a Emmy, and it was like, for what? For what?
Wow. I agree. I didn't care that he said work shoot.
Yeah, I didn't
Uh,
either. I didn't.
um, we. I know. I'm watching wrestling. If I'm a wrestling fan, I use those words in normal conversations with people that I'm not talking about wrestling at all. So it doesn't matter. Uh, Wrestling should be at work because I'm not watching a real fight. If I want to watch a real fight, I'll watch UFC. I'll watch something else, and it won't be a 15-minute banger. You know what I'm saying? There's no that's not a real fight. If a fight's a banger, it's not going 15 minutes. It's going maybe two. Uh, you know, you can
I think
rewind it.
that I think that that video, other like I said, overall the package was cool, but I do think it also furthers. I feel a disconnect, and then I could just be speaking just for me, but I feel like the McMahons. You back?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like the McMahons and Triple H included have a different idea of wrestling that I think me and my friends had as kids. And they're like, oh, it's this ultimate battle between good and evil. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that plays a role, but I mean, really, when I go to a show or, like my friends that used to be big fans, that wasn't exactly what they were searching for. They just like seeing people fight.
Yes.
Um, they sometimes they didn't care who the bad guy was. And so I think they're and that Triple H's story, I feel like that further shows that disconnect. Like, um, and that's just a difference in ideology.
For sure. I mean, but you got to think Triple H is a wrestling fan like we are. But just like, and I'm gonna compare him to Tony. Probably one of the only times I'm gonna compare him to Tony. But Tony Khan and Triple H see wrestling as no, I don't. I'm not, because Tony doesn't see wrestling as a good guy, bad guy thing. He looks at it
No,
as he
no,
just wants to see people
he's
fight.
he does.
But sure, but WWE, and I know why they want to compare it to Oscar worthy performances is because they do focus on the story. If we go back to old school stuff, Hogan Savage, right? You know, the slight looks, the slight touches for almost a year between Hogan and Elizabeth and Savage. Um, Savage's glance over because Hogan gave Elizabeth the hug first. His hand touched that butt. And Savage gets a glimpse of it. He doesn't react, but you see that he's visibly shaken. Of, why are you touching my wife's butt?
But as good
Um,
as that stuff is, think about how many times WWE has tried to replicate angles like that, and there's only a handful that is that good.
Agreed,
And I
agreed.
feel like some of the best storylines don't even like some of the best ones is when it's like mainly like those wrestlers throwing those ideas together, like Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho. Or, but
Yeah,
like I feel like there's certain like big angles, like when you're just like certain big angles, and this is me speaking. There's a lot of times I'll go into WrestleMania and there's like this main event that they have put all this attention into that it feels corporate force. But then like there's this match for the Intercontinental
yeah,
title that I feel
that's
like,
true.
man, I've been loving this. I've been waiting for this. And it's
That's
not
true.
the one that they put all their energy into. It's
I completely agree with you on that. The last time what they hit the nail on the head was this Cody deal, and I think
and
that's
even that wasn't what they even that kind of like that went left field from what
yeah,
they
The
were
Rock.
planning. Yeah.
Yeah, they had to pivot, and I give them credits for pivoting. And the pivoting I really think started with Daniel Bryan when it was when it was
Yeah.
supposed to be Batista, the returning star from Hollywood, was supposed to go over, and the same thing happened with it. Like, oh no, this is Brian Danielson's turn to become the WWE champion, and they had to pivot. Our WrestleMania was going to be hijacked. Uh, After that, they doubled down. This is what the hell you're going to watch, pal. Um,
Which is the problem with that is Vince will say he listens to the fans, but in reality, he wants
there's stuff
he's
he
got
wants to
his own
see.
plan. He got stuff he wants to. You ever watch the Lego movie, the one with Will
Yes.
Ferrell?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see Vince. Is like he is playing with the toys, and then like the kids like hey, he's like no, these are my toys,
These are
and that's just how I see WWE. Like these is Vince's toys. This guy he says like oh I'm giving the people what they want to see when really he's giving you what you want to see, and he wants you to feel the same way.
mm-hmm. I feel
I mean, you see my drink went and my crackers. I think my crackers right there. You can throw it. You can have confidence. Oh, you back? No, you're not back. Thanks.
Are you back, sir?
Oh yeah, I'm back. I'm
All right, all right. But as I was saying, I feel like with Triple H, he's doing it differently. He surrounded
yeah.
himself with people that are not like Gerald Briscoe or Pat Patterson, who are just gonna be like, "You're right, Vince. You're right." Abyss, um, Jeremy Borash, Petey Williams, Robert Roode, those people that didn't grow up in the WWE system. Uh, they learned independence, TNA, uh, you know, NWA because they did everything um, that they had to survive because they weren't making that WWE money. Uh, they were making that Dixie Carter money, and that wasn't smacking, that wasn't slapping. And so with their experience with different ways of wrestling, different types, and they're peers to these people. When Pat Patterson was booking, he wasn't anyone's peer. He was done. He was the first Intercontinental Champion. Him and Briscoe both, they were in wrestling. Like you might know who they are if you're a fan of professional wrestling, but you didn't work with them. Um, you know, AJ Styles talks to Abyss, their colleagues, former colleagues in the ring. He talks to Petey Williams, Robert Roode. Jeremy Barash was his announcer and producer in some matches before. Triple H, they've wrestled Triple H. He's not too far removed from the ring. Uh, I think that's a different type of deal. Vince was just a promoter who loved wrestling. Triple H is a wrestler who loves wrestling, who just happens to be a promoter right now. And I think that's what made Dusty one of the best when he wasn't booking himself as champion or in an angle. But I think some of that WCW stuff and NWA stuff that people don't give credit to because it wasn't on the scale of WrestleManias and SummerSlams and Survivor Series. But some of those Clash of Champions had some of the greatest matches and the greatest angles that, if people have time to go back and look on Peacock and want to watch some WCW. But for the time that we still have it, because I heard that the people overseas that everything that's on the Netflix, they don't have too many WCW and
Yeah, I'm
NWA
worried about that because
access.
you know, internationally it's on Netflix, so it's just like eventually something's gonna have to give with Peacock.
We got a few more years with
Oh, so they
Peacock.
got time to figure it out.
So hopefully by then, Netflix will be fully integrated and have a WWE channel with inside of it. Um, but right now, they just seem to be wanting to push out Netflix exclusive content where we're going to show you old stuff with a Netflix brand. Um, which is fine for now. Uh, as long as we still have Peacock and access to some of those old things. Because when I do watch Peacock. I watch pay per views when pay per
Yeah.
view time, but I watch old stuff. I watch a lot of old stuff. I watch a lot of AWA, NWA, WCW, um, and I'm talking about early '90s, as I was telling you earlier. Early '90s WCW, that Rick Rude era, which I loved. That Rick Rude had some of the best matches.
If you
Improved.
could, would you have ate that Hogan spaghetti?
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit up here. I was upset that I never got to Pasta Mania, brother.
Oh, okay, the pasta.
As
There you go.
as a child, I was mad. I was like, "Come, we can't go to Minnesota, mom." She's like, "What's wrong with you? What's for that? It's cold and we're black. We don't do that down there, brother."
Oh
But
God, I would have hated to be your sibling if you convinced them to go to Mid City Mall just to get some pasta.
I mean, man, I'm about Hogan all the time. But back to the main story. So after we had this crazy opening of the past with Triple H and the big curtain and everything, and we saw the sponsorships, uh, that I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of distracting at first. I had to get used to it. Like on a boxing, the boxing type mat where we have sponsors. in the UFC type match. I had to get used to it. But after we had that, we had the introduction of Dwayne Johnson. I will not call him The Rock or the final boss. This was still Dwayne Johnson coming out and giving a corporate rah rah speech. What was your thoughts on that?
Well, we talked about it last week where we had sensed that he wasn't going to be the same, and he wasn't, and but he wasn't any new character. He was just Dwayne Johnson.
Mm,
Um, it didn't bother me because I kind of expected it. Um, what I didn't like is that he did all that. He's giving props to Cody, props to Roman, but then he goes back on CW and says, he said, "Just enjoy the ride." And it's like, no, dude, don't try to tease something that isn't there. Like, you made it
yes,
clear what you're there for. You came to be Dwayne Johnson. You came to shake hands and look good in front of Netflix and to ride off in the sunset and do Moana live. But that you didn't. You don't try to tease no angle, which that is such a wrestler thing to do to always keep one foot inside the door. So I guess I can't be too mad.
yeah, that's true. That's true. See, I'm not gonna lie. I was completely disappointed because the final boss character,
Oh, it
um,
was great.
it was yeah, it was something special. I make it no secret. The Rock in the mid '90s, he was number two for me after Hogan, and then he was number three after I felt like the character of Triple H kind of surpassed him, but he's still top three of all time for me. And him coming back and mixing all the rocks together to make the final boss, because that's what it was. It was a mixture of everybody. It was a little bit of Dwayne, a little bit of know your role, shut your mouth, and a little bit of hey, I own most of this company, brother. What do you mean? You know, it was all of that stuff. I enjoyed it, and then when he came back, and I was just like, well, I can see you on Jimmy Fallon like this. I don't need to see you in this setting. I don't need to see your entrance music. I don't need to see you give your babies your title and kiss them. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but
No, it's not. But I think Triple H and The Rock segment should have been something before the show started.
I
We
agree.
didn't need neither one of those at the show. I mean, people wanted to see The Rock, don't get me wrong, but they didn't want to see that version of The Rock.
Oh no,
Even
not
if
it.
you were a lapsed viewer and you came back like, "Oh, wrestling's on Netflix. I ain't watching in a while. Let me see what's going on." That's not what you wanted from The Rock. That's not what you wanted from Triple H.
No, from Hunter, I don't think I want anything. Uh, I'm gonna say this, and this does bother me. I'm a Triple H fan, second favorite wrestler of all time. I but and to a point, I'm a Vince McMahon fan because he provided the WWE for me and everyone, Uh, but I didn't see Vince on every show. He didn't start the show. I didn't hear Vince's voice narrate everything. There was
He
parts,
did do it at times, but
yeah,
not as much as Triple H. Um,
you would hear his
uh,
voice, but you didn't see Vince McMahon standing there and there's a camera circling him and he's flexing to the camera in a suit. That's what Triple H does. And I'm like, bro, it's not a. You say it's not the Paul Levesque era, then don't
but
let
it
it
is.
be. But it
It it
is.
it, it is. Um, but the thing is, he did the stuff at NXT and he got away with it. And he he's like, it's one of those things like you can't let go. He can't go out there and wrestle. So it's just like I gotta make this about me some kind of way. Let me come
I,
out and say hello to the fans at the big shows and then even somebody pointed out, even the Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens thing, he had to make it about him. He had to come in and
yeah,
start having a shoving match with Kevin. For what?
exactly.
What's that gonna lead to? We didn't need that. You could have got that's a
All
spot
this
for yeah, like that's a Nick Aldis spot.
because he can
Not
still go. All this can see. All this still
yeah.
can go.
We that was definitely a spot for him. That wasn't a spot for Triple H. And I also
Yeah.
noticed that like the GMs will come and do stuff, but if it's something real big, he got to be
Oh
there with them or just
yeah.
replace him entirely. Like I'm
They
just
they
like
don't
what?
matter. You know. he's the one. They don't even have entrance music when they both should, because Pierce and Aldis are wrestlers, but
Yeah, yeah.
their music doesn't play. But we'll hear "Time to Play the Game," and he'll come down. I was like, at least come down to King of Kings. Like, you're not gonna spit no water. Like, Jesus. Um, but yeah, so we had that. So then after that, the show started for real, and Solo Sokoa, Solo versus The Rock. Thank God they didn't come up with a title. They just left it be the Ulafala for the Ulafala and the leadership of the Bloodline in a Bloodline rules match. Yeah. Well, what were your thoughts, brother?
It was good. I don't have too many complaints. It does suck that a SmackDown feud was, I don't want to say wasted on Raw, but
It ended on Raw.
it ended on Raw. And other than that part, the match itself, it was good. I think there was a random run in from Cody who I thought was, it kind of lost some value because we seen him out in the crowd during the Rock promo. And I think that's a separate problem I have about people in the crowd. But the match itself, I thought it was good. There was a part when Kevin Owens runs in and gives a stunner that I really thought was the end. So they got me with that one.
I completely agree with that. So the stunner spot and the cover, I was like, oh, it's over. You know,
Yeah,
I was like, okay, so this they're gonna continue the bloodline feud, and we're gonna finish it at the Rumble. That's fine. I'm cool with that. Now Roman doesn't need the bloodline at this point. As long as he just has, he doesn't even really need Paul. Paul needs Roman, I think, to our Punk. He needs one of those two. Um,
because without him, WWE's going to be like, what are we paying him for?
why do you have this job? But I do like I like the match. Shout out to him doing his shout out to Roman for doing his shout out to Kobe with the shoes. Those shoes were dope.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The kicks were fire. Can't wait till the Roman Reigns line drops for Nike. I'll get me an outfit or something.
I don't know
To
if I'll get the shoes, but I'll leave that out for debate. But I'll definitely get a shirt. I'll get a shirt.
I'll get the shoes just for the simple fact that I don't buy tennis shoes as I've gotten older, unless they're gym shoes. Um,
Okay.
but I'll buy the tennis shoes to represent Roman Reigns, and so I'll get the tennis shoes and I'll get the whole outfit.
Now, if they're actually like Jordan wrestling shoes, I'll get it because I've been meaning to want. I don't know. I think like some of those high top wrestling shoes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they kind of they're cool. Random story. There was this girl at my high school at Central. Somebody broke into her locker, stole her Jordans, and then for like the rest of the year, she just started wearing these like super high top like wrestling shoes. Uh, just cool. That was like
Wow,
in different colors. Like that was her
that was her.
response to me. Yeah.
That was her gimmick.
Yeah,
Jesus,
yeah, that's what it became. That's what it became.
she was already ready for the wrestling business. She should have signed up for OVW,
She should
and
have. She really should have.
she could have been the WWE champion. She could have
That was
been.
almost her villain story. That was villain origin story.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, alrighty.
You it's lagging right now, so I'm not anywhere.
All right. I don't know what's going on today. The snow has got the internet to lose its mind, I guess. But anyway, I thought the match was good.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the whole thing. I'm glad that it's not over though, from what happened on SmackDown. Um, but maybe this will lead to the tear down of whatever this is, because it's not the bloodline any longer, and we'll see Jacob Fatu just be the guy, like he's meant to be. Um, then, like, well, the next match that we actually had that was mentionable was the women's championship match, because I know this was the show had some people that were not happy that we didn't have too many matches, but we did have the women's championship match. Liv Morgan, the champion, defending against Miss Asuka,
Are we back?
yeah, we back, boss.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a good match. I think maybe because all the previous matches and as long as this feud's been, I think they got good chemistry now. I'm a big Liv fan, and not really because of her wrestling. Um, I think me being a big fan top makes me tolerate her wrestling.
Yeah,
But just knowing that she just kind of like grew up as a big wrestling fan that had this dream, no connections, no nothing. I think I see a little myself with like as far as like with music, like I kind of connect with that. I'm
yeah,
like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. So I just seeing like her being somebody that was just like some chick working at Hooters to like being in this the WWE. I was like, oh, okay. That's why because of that, I'm a big Liv fan. Um, so I tolerate our matches, but no, in this, I thought the chemistry was just perfect.
I think this was their best match by far, their best televised match. I
They
agree
did
with
have
you.
another one. I want to say it was at Elimination Chamber like a year or two ago. Um,
Yeah, yeah, they did.
that I think that might have been better, and that just because personally I think Liv works best as a babyface. Um, but this one holds up just as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you. Liv, I feel has this. I'm going to use an old school Southern trope, but she has this Ricky Martin feel. Um, the small, plucky underdog baby face, white meat baby face. Uh, Rhea obviously is a organic baby face because people just
Hmm.
want to cheer. People want to just cheer Rhea. It's not that she's ever changed her character at all. Since she's been with the Judgment Day.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, she's been the same. The goth badass girl. So, but people want to cheer her. They want her to be their mommy. Um, with Liv, I do like Liv. First of all, I just want to say I think her laugh is infectious. So that I was like, oh, okay. You can't hate somebody that laughs like that.
Needs to bring the colored tongue back.
That only works with Ruby, I think. We need Ruby. We need the Riot Squad. Come back from pregnancy. Uh, Forget Cool Hand Dan. I know he knocked you up and married you now, but come back to the E. Uh, you know, and be part of the Riot Squad. And when Sarah Logan comes back from also getting knocked up again by Eric Rowan. I mean, not Eric Rowan. Eric from the Viking Raiders.
I like that she is from Kentucky. I think she's from Louisville, isn't she?
She is. Sarah Logan is a Louisville girl.
But after that, I don't
Portland.
know.
We're gonna say solid Portland because I don't know.
She definitely has the Portland feel
She
to her.
looks. Yeah,
Um,
she looks like she shot Stick Kroger.
yes. And then she's out and like barefoot and stuff. Like it's like
Yeah,
what are we doing?
she went to the Kroger like that. She just came out this that and some booty that some booty shorts and a crop top and just went and got a jug of milk and said, "I'll be back, ma." Some crap like that.
And they brought her with that character like it had this like hype like she was this dangerous like monster, and then she was just getting beat up easily. I was like,
She was like, "Oh, she's a tough one. She's from the hood." No, no, she was taking the L. She was taking the pinfall because they didn't want to put out. They didn't want to put down Liv because Liv is pretty. They didn't want to put down Ruby because Ruby can go. So, and she was the leader of the Riot Squad. So Sarah Logan had to eat crow for the longest time.
and then I think then she take a super quick L to Ronda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody took a L to Ronda. It's Ronda.
Yeah, but this was like an embarrassing one. It was like a
Ronda was God when she was wrestling. Congratulations to Ronda for being a mom again.
rats.
Um, but yeah, I thought the match was good. Dom got the kick in the nuts. Um, I didn't like that Dom went for the hug. Like, I think Dom should just got just beat up organically. I
Well,
think,
I took it like it felt like something Eddie would have did.
yeah. But I also I get that, but people want to cheer Dom. Let them,
They do.
let them, let them. I think right now, if it was Dom versus Ray, it'd be a mixed crowd. It wouldn't be like it used to be, where Dom just gets booed. Like people really legitimately want to be like, "Oh, Dom's alright. Dom's entertaining."
He is. He is.
So, man, but I
Before
give the.
before we get into to the next match, I do want to ask,
Mhm.
what was your thoughts on having so many wrestlers in the crowd?
I thought that was
I
dumb.
I I was going to, like for some of it, I was like, all right, I'll let you have this one when you had SmackDown people in, but then you had Raw people in, and
Io
then you had
Sky.
Raw champions in there. Why is the tag team champion just sitting in the crowd? Like you're just like, what is going on?
Not only was I mad at that, I was mad at the fact that okay, so that they had Bianca and Naomi sitting next to the woman that played Topanga in Boy Meets World, and but
Oh, well,
the
they were sitting next to her.
yes, but they also had the dude that played Eric in Boy Meets World, and he did not get a name.
They didn't acknowledge him. Also,
And
did you notice that Flow Rider was there?
yes, I saw that too. Did not get named, and he's done so many themes for them
He's
before.
he's performed for him. He's done.
Yeah, he performed for The Rock at WrestleMania when they were in Miami. I mean, I was like, come on now. Like, there's so many people that were there. I mean, I'm glad for Vanessa Hudgens. She's always gets a shout
Who
out.
who they've just fell in love with over the past few months.
Who is she? I think she's giving Triple H a hand job, and he's just like, he's like, I'm ready. Stephanie never gets me like this. So I don't know what's happening with that, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But she's overhyped. I would rather them do some more people other than that. But what I think about them being in the crowd, I thought it was dumb. Why does EO have to pay to be there? She works there. Can't she
That's
just sit
what I'm
in?
like. It's just like I guess I would if if we're separating the brands, in a sense, I get SmackDown guys. I kinda if I'm suspending reality, then yeah, I get SmackDown guys. But to have Raw guys and then Raw champions just in the crowd, like why would they need to be in the crowd?
I feel like you can't really even suspend reality because Cody was in the crowd, but then Cody's backstage because he didn't come from the crowd when he made the save.
Oh yeah, none of that makes sense. One, why is the WWE champion just in the crowd? That makes no sense.
No, it didn't. It didn't make any. That's like if Gunther's in the crowd. What for? He works there and he's the champion of the brand.
The
You know,
champion of the brand, and all they did for him was I think they did
a
promo
hype
package.
package.
That was
Mhm.
it.
Logan Paul. Since we're gonna, Logan Paul was hyped for the show. Logan Paul was hyped for the brand switch. Logan Paul was just in the crowd. and he didn't say anything.
Yeah, I don't get that at all. He also, well, we'll get to that part later. I was gonna say, for one of the most talked about moments of the show, I think he was probably the only one that was not booing.
Well, I wasn't booing, brother, but I wasn't there either. I was actually, but when we do get there, I'm just gonna tell you this. I was sad because I was like, please don't go outside. Please don't come out. Please just be a promo package. And then when I saw, I said, oh damn, this is gonna be bad. That's that, but that's a different story. But let's do go to one of the other most talked about part of the night. Drew McIntyre versus Jay Uso. Travis Scott entrance for Jay Uso. Okay. Okay, I'm going to be honest here. I'm not a big modern music fan at all. So, I didn't know who Travis Scott was until I needed to do research for the simple fact that he was going to be doing the stuff for wrestling. And I was like, oh, so I need to know because I didn't really know who Megan the Stallion was, other than I have a daughter who likes Megan the Stallion. So, and then I was like, oh, okay. So I was
She
familiar
didn't
with
like
her.
Travis.
No, she's more of a Juice World type girl
Okay.
when it comes to rap, from a male perspective. But anyway, so but she knew who he was. She's like, oh, I know who he is. Not really my type of music though. But so I was like listening to him, but then I was like, oh, okay, well, this is cool. This is all right. It'll work for what WWE's going for the vibe that they're going for. That entrance between him and Jay, as an artist, as you are, sir, Mr. Peter Wesley, what was your thought on probably the best entrance in WWE history, with True Drugs in there? And it wasn't even Snoop Dogg this time, brother.
So I had already known that there was already talk about the new cameras and stuff they were using for Netflix. I knew it was going to be effort into making his entrance special, but I thought it was going to be like that way. I have different camera angles and shots of the fans. We got Travis Scott, who you said I know you said you're not familiar with him. You ever watch that episode? Did you watch Futurama?
Yes.
You remember the episode where they was like parodying Willy Wonka?
Mm-hmm.
You remember it was like the big slug guy that was like super cool and
Yeah.
all he did was party. That's kind of like equivalent to
That's
Travis Scott. Like it's not
he's
like
that
the
guy.
music isn't like deep or anything. People it's just hype. And I think Travis Scott is just like famous for being cool. Like more than like having good music. Um that just really, like he has a deal with Jordan where he has like the really cool Jordan shoes. But they're really just retro Jordans with a giant Nike sign that's turned backwards.
I've seen those. Yes, and they go
Yeah,
for a lot of money for
they
some,
go
and
for a lot of money. And
I don't like them. I was like, I wouldn't buy those shoes.
but like yeah, it's just things like that. But like I mean he has like some catchy songs, but like it's not like no one's gonna say Travis Scott is their favorite rapper. He's just really cool. Kind of like in the '90s, how Diddy was just really cool, but he was never anybody's like favorite anything. He just was cool for being cool.
He was there and he was cool because he brought people that you did like their music, and he dressed cool, and he
and
brought
and and,
Sean John out,
and
and we
Travis
all
Scott
like
is in a similar sense. He
similar
has the
guy.
Jordan deal. He has the songs where I think he does make his beats. I will say that. But like he'll have like big features like a Drake or somebody on it.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, like it's in that sense. But I don't know Cali's laws, so I don't know how he was able to do that on live TV. I don't know.
Well, I have heard marijuana's legal in California, so I didn't think it was legal to smoke weed with children
Yeah, like I didn't think you
there,
can do that in an arena.
in an arena, because there is like health violations where people can't inhale smoke.
Cause you can't do like you can't do that with cigarettes, can you?
You can't do it here at all. But anyway,
Well, I will say I went to a show, a comedy show,
Mm-hmm.
and people were doing it in the crowd.
Locally?
Yeah, it was at the Yum Center.
Well, okay, so anything at the Yum Center. Was it the Mike Epps concert?
No, it was the
Oh, the
the
Kevin
85
Hart.
South, the 85
Okay.
South show, and like, but everybody was still like freaking out, like, how they doing this? But like, no one's put an end to stop to it.
Well, no, it's who you know when it comes to the Yum Center. Like I know
I
about
guess
three
so.
people that do security at Yum Center. I could come in with anything I chose to. We are, bro. You cool. So I mean, it ain't like that. They don't care. You can come in with a gun. Like
Oh
yeah,
god.
no, no, he's fine. He's police. He ain't police. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, I think that's just crazy. But that entrance was nuts. And when you were talking about Travis Scott, I feel like Travis Scott is Jey Uso. I don't think Jey Uso is anyone's favorite wrestler. He's just cool. Uh,
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they kind of equivalent to each other. Yeah.
so I was like, yeah, I think they're pretty much the same guy. But I will say this about the match: I was shocked by the ending because Jay went over, and that shocked me because Jay went over. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, no, he usually is there to look cool and then take the L.
Yeah, I guess because Jimmy's back, Jimmy can take that L again,
I guess so.
just like he did. He can move. He will continue to do. But man, the match was good. Drew is probably one of the best complete professional wrestlers right now in the WWE. Microphone, ring work. He has a look. Believable finisher. Who kicks out of a claymore? Not too many people.
No,
Um,
no.
I mean, you might not even kick out of a future shock DDT, which has now become a signature move, not a finisher. So I would like to say that, yeah, good match, good for Jay. I'm happy for Jay. Uh, Happy for him getting his viral, this the second most viral moment of the show. We're coming up on the viral moment, the most talked about moment. Very soon, brother. Right after this, but I'm happy for Jay that he got the positive attention
Oh
this
yeah.
time. So more power for Jay. To be pretty much. I think if we had Jay versus Roman, that'd be some crazy stuff nowadays.
Oh yeah, it definitely would. And even though as wild as it was, I don't think the Travis Scott stuff took away from Jay, so that was cool.
No, no, no. I don't think it took away from. I think it was good to have a name bigger than wrestling, which is right now Travis Scott, and to have him with probably the most over baby face in professional in WWE, which is Jey Uso. Jey Uso's just over. I think people just want to dance to "It's Just Me, Us" day one ish. Even though I like the Uso version better of day one ish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it just hits harder. But you know, but the Jays with the yeeting
I just feel
is
bad for whatever kid that's gonna go to his middle school dance and request that song.
"It's Just Me, Us" day one ish. I'm be like,
And
oh,
the look that the DJ is gonna give him.
but I promise you, I guarantee that there'll be like three or four wrestling fans like me and you, and
Oh
we'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
and we'll be
Yeah.
yeeting with that child that's going to be yeeting. And there'll be some old person in the background, like, oh, there's somebody's daddy eating with you. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it'll be all right at the end of the day. Somebody will be happy. It just won't. The DJ will be like, wow, these kids nowadays, something wrong with them. But since you brought that up, I will tell you this strange story. So, um, I was a little bit older, but I went to a dance, and they had no. I was at a talent show. It wasn't a dance. It was a talent. We were doing a talent show, so it was me and a group of people, and we were a group of African American outcasts of the African American population that we were in.
Been
So
there before.
I figured we've had conversations, but I'm not gonna call anybody out on what they if they are or not. But in fact, I know other people that know you too, other than the two people that you know I know you that you know that I know you. They were like, "Oh, I know him too." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, there's a." I was like, "Oh, okay." But anyway, so we were doing it, and they were like, "Oh, you guys, we're gonna sing," and so they said, "What are you gonna sing?" And I want to remind you, this is a very gang oriented African American group that we were doing the talent show to. So I don't know if you remember, since this is a wrestling podcast, this is appropriate. I don't know if you remember Kurt Hennig and the West Texas Rednecks in WCW.
Oh no, don't do. I don't think it's the song I think it is
And
it?
yes, so we decided to sing rap is crap.
No.
It was,
Oh no.
and I played the Kurt Hennig part. I was the lead singer, but and it didn't go well.
That was one of the last moments in wrestling where I was still like, I guess, all into the kayfabe because I
Hmm.
was wanting the No Limit Soldiers to defend Rap's honor,
you
and
want you you wanted Master P to beat Mister Perfect,
I did.
Bobby Duncombe Jr.
I
and
was I
Gregory
was
Windham.
I was so disgusted at Raptors crap and the campaign that was going on about it. I yeah.
I,
But you,
I didn't believe rappers crap because there are some rap songs that I like, but it was just like I love this. I love Kurt Hennig. I think he's cool. And the reason I chose that song for the like I told you, we were outcasts. I was like, yeah, they don't like us anyway. Screw it. Give them a reason to. They were like they because this one dude I was hanging out with, Antoine. I don't know where he is. Antoine was like, I don't think this is a good idea. I think we can beat them all. I said, you got to beat them all. We can run afterwards. I mean, I ain't gonna run. He's like, well, I ain't gonna run either. The other one that we were with, his name was Blackwell, Andre Blackwell. He said, "Oh, I'm running. I don't care a damn what y'all doing. I'm not getting beat up for you people." Yeah. Well, but
oh man.
they told us we couldn't sing it because they said it was too controversial. So they said told us to pick they told us to pick another song. We said no. So they said, "Well, you guys just got to sit out." We didn't attend.
Also, was it like a rehearsal for the talent
Yeah,
show?
you had to rehearse. Um, we weren't allowed.
Can just surprise everybody at the show.
Yeah, we couldn't. It was some screening going on, brother. Okay, it wasn't there like, oh, we ain't having no riot here. Too many black people here. We know they'll kill y'all, black or not. Y'all dying today
Oh
if
god.
y'all choose to sing that rap is crap and y'all three black men. I was like,
What
well,
school was it?
this was in school. This wasn't school, so I was like 18. This was like no, I was like 19. Oh, I take that back. I was 20 years old, and it was a job corps. So
Oh no, yeah,
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 no. There's
yeah.
some
Oh, it
a
was
lot of
gangs there. We knew
there was
we
some
were.
shady people at Job Corps.
Oh,
Okay,
we knew, we knew. I knew. I came in with full intentions because this. I was like, there's only three people from Kentucky. I'm one of them. You know,
I don't
I
remember
didn't.
when, but it was like within this year. I read a story within like the last 12 months. I read a story about like a murder from a Job Corps.
That I saw a stabbing. I saw a baby getting made. I've seen all types of stuff at Job Corps. It was a very. It was a community. It was like a project. I'm like, I'm in the projects. Yeah. Yes. I didn't last too long. I said, I don't feel comfortable. They said, why don't you feel comfortable? I said, I'm black, but I don't think I'm black enough. I'm not black enough for this. Yeah. They said, what do you mean? I said, I'm not black enough for this. I'm telling you. They go, are you sure, sir? I said, yeah. I'm gonna go home, buddy. I'm gonna take my ball and go home. I pulled a
I think
stone on
I used to think the Job Corps was a um job oriented version of Peace Corps, but I guess it's not.
them. No. Job Corps is, I guess, in some way it is. It's just a government Job Corps. We've taken the left, but Job Corps is a government it's a government funding education program. So that's all it is. So basically, so you can't afford to go to college, or you did. I was just late with registration, and my parents were dead at the point in time. So it was like, who's gonna fill
Oh,
out
so
the time?
you was just navigating by yourself.
I was navigating by myself, so it was like,
Mm.
I can go do this. You know what I'm saying? It's something to get some kind of license in something. You know what I'm saying? So
Apparently, just how you were thinking is how a lot of like foreign people think. Like they got kids that's of age and they're trying to get them to do something. Oh,
mhm.
the Job Corps, like this will teach them how to get a job, and then they go get beat up, and
Yeah, no,
it's
it'll teach you how not to die. Like I learned how not to die. I learned that women were prostituting themselves for extra little Debbie cakes. It
Oh
was
no.
yeah, yeah. She would come through the window and ask, "Did you get your snack?" And give it all wop 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 wop. She, she she's a very big Caucasian woman, very
It's
big.
still, I'd still, she was underestimating her word. W cakes.
She was her name was a snack cake hoe. It was an interesting time in my life. I can tell you that now, brother. It wasn't a good one, but it was an interesting. There was a case of gonorrhea. I also saw the movie Cabin Fever there for the first time as well. So therefore,
Okay, did everybody watch it together?
yeah. So we had a little like an auditorium. Cabin. We all watched Cabin Fever. You didn't have to show up, but it was just like, hey, you watch
I felt
Cabin
like they
Fever.
would try to put something more positive on the TV.
They just put out movies. They didn't care. They put down Cabin Fever at the time that they had a gonorrhea breakout. So then everybody was like, I'm like, I don't know if this is the time when we got
Was the
somebody running
was
down here
the
hot. And they got that man. That's the way
was the
everybody
W cake
like.
lady behind all this? Or?
Nobody actually hit that because she was a grotesque looking. She was an ugly girl. I ain't gonna lie. She looked like a giant gerbil. Nobody wanted that.
Oh god.
But everybody was like, "Hey, I saved all my snack cakes." You know, I didn't need no little Debbie's. They went to Walmart, got extra little Debbie's for girls and boys. She didn't care. She didn't discriminate. If you was snack cake, she was ready to go down. It wasn't PG at all. Okay, it
If
wasn't PG. Well,
if Lil Debbie knew what was going on, she would have raised the price.
you know, especially not that cheap. Considering, you know, it was a special time. But anyway,
Oh man.
back back to what we needed to be talking about with the. So then we had promos. We saw Logan Paul. We saw everyone, and then we got the sponsorship ad of the year, brother, from Terry Jean Bolea, if you will, James Hart, Real American Bear, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and Jimmy Hart. I'll give my thoughts last. You go, brother.
First thoughts is poor Jimmy Hart. He didn't deserve that. I've seen a lot of talk, and I don't know if people just have amnesia or they just or if it's a lot of people who just tuned in for the first time. But this isn't the first time Hogan's got booed. Now this might be the worst, but it's not the first.
Not at all.
Um, and I I don't I don't hate Hogan. Especially not as much as some other people do. I'm over the whole situation he did in a sense. In a sense, I'm not mad about it anymore. But it's kind of like one of those things where you got to read the room, and I don't think he did, and I don't like even in the past he had a conversation with Logan Paul on his podcast, and he's like, oh, people forgive Benoit for what he did, you know they forgave me for what I did, and it's like, wait a minute. You're being a little too optimistic. Maybe you said, well, you should have said maybe they will forgive me. They didn't forgive you. Like it hasn't already happened yet. But I guess in the echo chamber he's at, everybody loves him. You look on the page for his beach shop, his
Mm-hmm.
response at the RNC. So in the circles he's at, he still is,
Hulk Hogan.
he's still Hogan. And so when he comes out, yeah, I thought like maybe the response would be like, all right, maybe I should look at do things differently. But then his response is kind of like they don't stand for what I stand for, and it's like, all right, dude, you're still not getting it. You're still, and then in the promo, he still wasn't getting it because his promo was talking about he's had some hard times and the people have stood by him, and it's like they clearly are not standing by you right
Not
now.
those people, brother. Not those people.
The people that he's talking about is the people who didn't see nothing wrong with what he said in the first place.
The people that never left. Um, yeah. Man. Okay. Um, I'm just gonna. If you on social media, on Twitter, my name is Hulkaman
Oh,
because
is it?
that was my name in the hood because people would see me, and I didn't really know the people, the younger people in the hood, the old people in the hood knew me, but the younger people in the hood, like the people that were like when I was in my mid 20s, they were in their mid teens. So the generation before me, they called me Hulk Man. Like, man, dude, you always fly, but you always wear some Hulk Hogan when you come outside, which I did.
Now, was it Hollywood or was it
No, no, no,
both?
it was TNA Hogan. It was TNA.
Oh,
It was TNA Hogan and Hollywood because Hogan had the Barack Obama type shirt.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I had that. I wore that with a bandana on and like a Hogan hat, that and a New York hat with the Hogan bandana under it. Like I would always wear Hulk Hogan stuff.
He was wearing like the immortal gear.
Mortal Gear, I wear that. I wear that, and and by that, and around that, by that time, you could find Nikes that were any color. So I would get like the red, black, and yellow and gray, a Mortal Gear, and then I get Nikes to correspond
Oh,
with that color. So I was always like it didn't matter, and black and white as well for Hollywood, which I'm repping today. So I never so the Hogan thing, I'm always been a Hogan fan. To me, wrestling means two things to me. Wrestling means my late mother, rest in peace, because that's something that we watched together growing up
oh,
our
that's
life.
pretty dope.
So and then wrestling means Hulk Hogan. Um, so if I don't have Hogan, I don't have wrestling. For me personally, I don't have a wrestler to gravitate to, I would say. Um, so when it came out that he was a racist, and being black as I am, that was heartbreaking. Uh, but it wasn't surprising either. An old Italian man that grew up in the South being a racist. Is it really a surprise? It doesn't matter if he lived life where he met people of all type of races, because he did. You know, you went over to Japan, you went to New York, you've been to California, you've been to the hood, you've been to every part of this world. There's no place in this world that Terry Jean hasn't been. But the real thing is, has Terry Jean ever been anywhere other than his house? Because Hulk Hogan, he doesn't show up as a real person; shows up as a character. He does. I've never seen him on television, not even when he was with Donald Trump, being anyone other than Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
Um, you know, when he's on CNN, it's like, yeah, brother. I'm like, oh man, why? It isn't I've stated many times, when Dwayne Johnson went on the trail to talk about Barack Obama becoming the president of the United States. Dwayne Johnson went on the trail to talk about Barack Obama. The Rock stayed on WWE. When Dave Batista talks about the you know that he was going voting for Kamala Harris, he didn't come out and rip his shirt off and talk about I walk for miles. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. No, that didn't happen. Mick Foley
May,
didn't pull out a sock. None of that happened.
maybe
Hell,
we should have went to the polls and did the "Give Me What I Want," and maybe if it was
maybe
more of
Kamala would
us.
have won.
Yeah,
Well, at least we voted no for Amendment 2, right, brother?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So at least we got something, right? But um, I look at that and I can say that I don't know Terry Bollea at all.
Mm.
Um, I don't know him because I've never seen him except in the sex tape. I've
I
only
didn't
seen.
watch it. I thought about it and then I said no.
I watched it, and it's something you watch. For me, it was a watch because I was like, "What's the big deal?" You know, people do it. People do nasty things. I know people that have had sex with their friends' girlfriends, and their friends watched. I know people that have in my personal life that's done this.
Mm.
It's not for me, but I
No,
know
not for
people
me
that
either.
do it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
I know a few. It's not
So
it's not for me.
him doing it, I was like, yeah, I don't care. It was the afterbirth that I don't want my gene pool, brother, messed up with niggers, poor niggers. You know what I'm saying? That hurt my feelings. But and I think that's the reason he got booed. Plus he lied about the Make a Wish child that he never met. You know.
Hold on, wait a minute. What's this story? I don't think I know this one.
Okay, so SummerSlam '93,
Look at y'all not using the hair dryer. Everybody needs it. I'm about to use it myself. Get my money's worth.
all right, I'm back.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you remember SummerSlam in Wembley Stadium? I was 93. It was 93.
Nine. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking 92, but it's 93. So SummerSlam '93, they had that, and they also that's when Simon Cowell got wind of, hey, I should do an album with the wrestlers. So during that time, that's when they got wind. But the next year, Hogan came back to wrestling again, went to WWE. So he got in on the album with Simon Cowell. But when he got wind on the album with Simon Cowell, Hogan came up with this. He said, brother, I made a song called Little Hulkster in Heaven, which is true. He made a song called Little Hulkster in Heaven. But he said he made the song about Little Hulkster in Heaven because he was at the main event of that SummerSlam, which we know he wasn't the main event of that SummerSlam. He wasn't there at all. He wasn't on that card. So he said he was the main event of SummerSlam, and that he saw the kid before his match, and he walked near the kid. He said, "Man, what's that smell, brother?" And they was like, "Oh, the kid's dying." He's like, "Oh, that's the kid that smells. I smell the death, brother." And he smelled the death of the kid. So he said he went there and he said, "Well, I'm gonna dedicate this match to you." So he went and had the match, and then when he said the match was over, the kid was dead,
Okay, I have heard that part. I
and
did.
that
Why did even all right? So since this is a made up story, why did he think he needed to add the part about the smell death?
I think it was just I think it was for him, it was just to add more context to the story, to make it more grandiose than the lie that it already was. Other than the fact that he did really truly make a song called Little Hulkster in Heaven.
Now, could
Um,
is it possible he could have been talking about the previous SummerSlam, or did he actually name the stadium?
he said Wembley Stadium.
Uh,
He said I was at Wembley Stadium with Mr. T and Michael Jackson.
why did he see that's the thing about a liar. You tell a little bit of truth, but you leave it um vague so it can be debated. But if you name dropping people and you name the place, that's
Oh
not good.
no, the Hulkster
But you
brother.
shouldn't be you shouldn't be lying about a Make a Wish kid
Anything like
anyway.
it.
Yeah,
Anything.
yeah, it's not
Anything
good.
like that. But the Hulkster, he went into full detail. Kid, place, name, people, known people. One is
All
still
for a
alive.
song.
All for all to say that he did this song with Simon Kyle, which he literally did, called
Is the
Little
song even
Hulkster, and
good?
ain't no song Hogan ever made good.
I'm just trying to make sense of this. Like, why did we need?
I'm
Why
gonna
did
say
we need?
that I'm gonna put it like this: Randy Savage's rap album was better than Hulk Hogan's album. Randy Savage has made sense. Like the I want to be a Hulkamaniac LP along with my family and friends. And then when Hogan starts rapping, because Hogan raps in that song.
And the little Hulkster.
Yeah, he
Oh
raps in both.
god.
He raps in both
Oh,
songs. He raps in "I Want to Be a Hulkamaniac." He raps "Little Hulkster in Heaven." He
I gotta
like
look these
like
songs up.
you can, as an artist, they will not be in your playlist. I'm a Hogan fan; they're not in my playlist. But
Why did he do this?
why did he walk out on Monday? I look at this and I know and I know that he's promoting that beer.
And I think that was
Uh,
the main motivation. It was
and
the beer.
obviously, if you're gonna go anywhere promoting that beer, you go to your namesake, the WWE. You go to what you did for most of your life, your notoriety, and it's a professional wrestler. Um, you
But he
know,
would have been better with a commercial than a live appearance.
he would have been better with anything. They could have had Ramus. They could have just showed a cut of Rey Mysterio drinking his beer,
Which he did do on his page.
and that's all they need to show in the arena. They didn't need the cut.
I
They
feel like he
didn't.
was looking for any minority he can find.
Well, I know. I don't think Kofi and Woods would have said yeah, so it wouldn't have worked. Or Truth would have said yeah.
You think Truth would have done that?
They took pictures together, and he said,
Oh, they did.
me and my childhood
Oh
hero Hulk
man.
Hogan."
Oh, why did he
They
do that?
took a picture
Why
together,
did?
hugging. Truth had his little him and Damian Priest had matching suits. So, and then he had his arm around Hogan.
Hogan probably said the same thing that Bubba Love Sponge said. We got him
That's probably it, brother.
when he had that picture of him and R-Truth. We
Yeah,
got
we got him, brother. But what I want to say about this, I thought it was a bad decision. And like you said, and like everyone said, poor Jimmy Hart. What did he do to deserve this? He did nothing. But he is also known, him and Brian Knobs and Nick Hogan, which is even his son now. They're known as the Hogan Stooges, um, because they just follow Hogan around. And
Wait a minute. Was Nick one of the people in the picture when they was on the plane?
yeah, Nick was there.
Or
Nick was there.
oh, okay. I guess I just didn't recognize him.
Nick's bald. Nick don't have hair anymore.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah. So it's genetics, brother. It went
Oh,
wild.
well, yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
just didn't hold on to the hair in the back, you know, like the Hulkster did. But so you have the Hogan Stooges, Jimmy's, and I'm not gonna say Stooge. I'll take that back. He's his friend, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, if this is your friend and your friend is helping you get a payday, why wouldn't you know? If Brutus Beefcake wasn't married to his wife, he would have been there too. Um, yeah.
Didn't his wife not like
She doesn't like
Hogan
Terry.
for what?
Oh, he was. He said she couldn't come for one thing, and then she said that Hogan wanted to see her breast because she got the breast
Okay, I thought it
done,
was some weird
and
accusation in that.
she was like, "Nah, I'm not doing no bubble. This we ain't doing that. We ain't doing no bubble love
Right.
stunts. Shit, here, this ain't what happened." And he was like, "Brutus, get that uptight bitch out my house. You can stay, brother. She can't." you know.
Oh God.
I mean, like I said, I don't know Terry. None of us knows Terry. We're not Bischoff. We're not Rodman. I know Nash says stuff that he likes him, but
He
Nash,
says it, but he also gives me the sense that him and Scott never was close to him.
I think in WCW they didn't have a bond because everybody was competing. But from what he tells me is they got close with him in the WWF because they were all kind of outcast, even though they came from WWF. They were all outcast by then because of
Oh,
WCW.
when they came back.
hmm
Okay, but wait a
Yeah,
minute. But during your like heyday, like in
no,
the
they didn't like each
WCW,
other. No,
okay,
they
and
weren't
a
together.
lot, yeah, a lot of times that like he'll say some stuff like it'll be kind of like left field about Hogan. It's like when y'all cool, but it's like okay, maybe behind scenes Hogan's still making play, even if we in the same faction together, he's still making plays for him, I guess.
Well, you got to think they showed up every week. They was there
Yeah,
every week. You saw Hall, Nash. You might not saw Hall because Hall was going through his problem, but
well,
Nash was
yeah.
there. Nash was there. But when Hall wasn't, too drunk to show up, inebriated on pills and drugs and alcohol, he was there. Hall was there wrestling. Six was there wrestling. Um, you know, Sting, Luger, like it didn't. You can name anybody. Sting was there. He didn't even wrestle. He would just come down from the rafters. and hit people with a bat and you know get a
That
scorpion death drop.
that had been an easy year for Sting
That was the best year ever. Probably one of his highest paydays.
to
And
do
he did
nothing,
to do
but
nothing.
just
Be Sting. To be the Crow. He wasn't even Sting. He was the Crow.
oh,
But I think about Sting, man, in that regard, he was the man. He was what a true hero in wrestling. At that, he was like I would say Sting was the last big hero in wrestling, like other than Cena. But
and
Cena's hero,
When Hall was there and he wasn't intoxicated, he was giving out good ideas.
yeah, the Sting
Yeah,
idea,
yeah.
and probably one of the
Or maybe
best.
he was drunk. It was just like, hey, why don't you just be the crow and then go
Whichever
back to what
one,
he's doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
whichever one, he was still contributing. He was contributing,
Yeah, yeah. He was
and that's what it's all about. I feel like a lot of the times Hogan wasn't contributing. Hogan was just saying that doesn't work for me, brother.
but
Because
at that point, why at that point? You've been on top of the world. You're here as this new company. You're on top of here too. Why are you still paranoid? Why are you still like
I
when do you relax?
greed, greed gets to a lot of people. Greed and Linda, because Linda was greedy. I don't know if you ever watch Hogan Knows Best.
Yeah, I did. I did. I watched it.
She was greedy. So two greedy people. You greedy, but then you gotta like, well, I want to keep my wife happy too, man. So you're
mm,
greedy and you're keeping your wife happy at the same time. Your wife is greedy, so you have to leverage everything so where you always get top dollar. Because Hogan would be gone doing a movie for like 8 weeks. There was no title defenses for those 8 weeks. And we all know WCW and WWF, it's 30 days you wrestle. The title's supposed to be defended. Hollywood wrestle maybe five times a year, and not all of those are title matches. You know, he would just be like, I'm gonna wrestle. Like the first time he wrestled Luger wasn't for the WCW championship. The second time he wrestled Luger and lost, there was a WCW championship, and then he won the title on that next Saturday at Sturgis. That didn't even make sense.
is that the one when Luger wins, everybody lifts him up and
Hmm.
celebrates? He
Yep,
lost it
that
a
was
week later.
not even a week. It was Saturday because it was the Hog Wow, the Road Wow pay per view. Because so you remember they did the Sturgis, the motorcycle rally.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever seen that infamous match between the Steiners and the and the Harlem Heat. But
I don't remember it, but I remember the intro to that pay-per-view with all with
the
them all riding
motorcycle,
in. Yeah, yeah, I do
Merrick
remember
riding
that.
in, yeah. So Luger lost. Luger won it on that Monday, and he lost it on that Saturday.
Why?
He lost it right back to Hogan,
And I
and
guess, looking back, at the time, I guess I just don't. I guess I remember it very vaguely, but I do remember the huge celebration of, of him winning.
I mean it was a big deal because I was
Yeah, but so why
because
would you end that so quick? Why would you?
Luger winning. Luger was at that time. Luger was a bigger baby face than Sting because Luger beat Hogan, and you saw Luger speak and wrestle every week. Like Luger
Yeah, yeah,
wasn't Luger. Luger cut a promo. Um, and Luger, one of my favorite guys all time. One of my favorite WCW wrestlers of all time. I know Luger gets slack of Luger's lazy, but the second time Luger came back, Luger wasn't lazy. He
right,
appreciated his
right.
spot. Um, that version of Lex Luger that beat Hulk Hogan for the WCW championship was not lazy. Um, Luger wasn't the best wrestler, but Luger was over, and everybody knew when he put you up in the rack, he wasn't coming back. It was over. You're going to tap.
Yeah,
Uh, you know, um, so Luger beating Hogan then didn't make sense due to the simple fact that that was number one. That was Luger's last world title ever. And he wrestled for another 4 or 5 years. Um, and in '97, that was his last world title, and he only had it for a few days before they gave it back to Hogan and said Hogan's gonna lose his Sting at Starcade. I feel like Hogan should have the title match and Nitro should have never happened, and or if it did happen, it should have been one of those WCW, which we all know WCW was known for. WCW disqualifications, NWO run-in.
which were it was exciting to watch, by the way.
They had the best brawls.
Oh, definitely. It was just on nonstop madness. Then you had random people running in who you didn't know which way it would go.
Hmm.
NWO's beating up people, and randomly, a Rey Mysterio would jump in, he'll get beat up too, and it's like, and
Hmm.
then people throwing stuff. You don't know how long this brawl is gonna last.
You're looking at the clock to be like, and you know they have the power to go over. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? So it's like, they might go over. Who knows how long this is going to be? Who's going to be the last person to run out? Is
but then there's
somebody
a
from,
certain point where you know nothing bad, nothing like this is never gonna turn. Like when
yeah.
Hogan got to whipping people and spray painting, that
Oh,
was
it was
it.
over. No,
Nobody
ain't
else was
never.
coming out. Nobody.
No, it's over. When as soon as the belt comes off, oh, it's over. Hit the NWO music. You know, Hogan's getting ready to hit it, baby. Hit the porn music because Hogan's getting ready to just whip you and spray you, brother. You're getting screwed by Hollywood. But back to this real American beer stuff. Um, I understand he's the spokesman, and everybody's like, oh, I saw this guy on CNN say, well, he should just be Hollywood Hogan. That's not the beer. Yeah,
No, because that beard goes with that
real
character.
American. The beers are real American. They have the picture of uh, the big beautiful picture, which I had this. I don't know. You're a little bit younger than I am, but WrestleMania 7, they had the drawing of Hulk Hogan with the flag. That Cody's kind of replicated this as well with some of his merchandise. But Hulk Hogan with the flag and muscles ripping, and he's standing there, and it was when he was wrestling Sergeant Slaughter, when Sergeant Slaughter became an Iraqi sympathizer, and that's the cover of the beer is him holding the American flag, and that photo of him, of the animated photo of Hogan super ripped, and like he's never been, because he's never been that guy, but that was ripped and jacked. He was just jacked, he was never ripped, and ripped and jacked, holding this American flag on a mountaintop, and an eagle's flying over his head. That's the cover of the beer, that's on the can.
I also
Holly.
think that shows a division because like in the 80s, like right there, like that is cool. But I think in today's age, anything super patriotic like that just gets looked at weird. Like it's kind of like when you get too patriotic, then it's like, I think you're racist.
Oh,
But
exactly. Exactly.
but in his circle, like how he was at the RNC, that's still like
You
this,
love America.
yeah. So um I don't think he sees it the way we do, and I think he's also at an age where he never will.
I look like Hogan's best years are behind him. I feel like the next time we see Hulk Hogan getting cheered is after he dies. Um, and
And I don't think it'd have to be like that if he would have came in and be like, "All right, I see, I look back at what I've done. I see, well, what can we do? Let me listen to the people and try to." But he's not that kind of guy. Like he's not trying to win anybody over. In his mind, he's already been forgiven. So
not only that, I think the people that are going to forgive me, brother, they're going to forgive me. They've already forgiven me. I look at the line. If they had a real American beer line in this city today, I'd be in it, right? I'd be in that line just to meet Hulk Hogan. I don't
Oh
drink.
god.
I'm a grown man who doesn't drink, but I can tell you this: the gym that I go to that gym because Hulk Hogan used to go there when he wrestled for Memphis. Um, you know, legitimate story. So I can tell you that I would still be in that line, and still like, oh, sign my belt. I'd be like this. I'd get this fucking NWO belt right here, brother, and I'd be like, sign it, Hollywood. Sign it, Hogan. Because meeting Hogan is on my bucket list. Like it's a bucket list item for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, you know,
And you haven't got to yet.
nope, never got to meet Hulk Hogan yet. Been in the room because I've seen him wrestle. I've seen, well, not even wrestle. I've seen him perform. At the SmackDown. I seen NWC and Nitro. But
Yeah, I think SmackDown might be the only time
Been
that
in
I
the
can remember.
Hulk Hogan arena. But SmackDown by myself and Nitro with my mom was the only time that I've been in an arena with Hogan. Um, and my father met Hulk Hogan because he used to do security at the Louisville Gardens. But this was just Hulk Hogan in Memphis, not Hulk Hogan, the WWF Heavyweight Champion. So that's a totally different
Yeah.
deal. But would I be there? Would I be in the line? Yes. I'd be in the line. I get my picture, and it would be my profile picture on every social media that I own. Um, but
I think
uh,
I'd be interested in meeting him, and I would be interested to talk to him. I don't know if I want to take the picture.
I'd take the picture to take the picture. I wouldn't talk to him, like have a sit down conversation with him, because I'm gonna be I'll be popular. I'll get my 6 minutes of fame, but he'll make me slap the shit out of him
But
because
also,
he's gonna say
but I
something
don't think a
stupid.
conversation with him is worth it because I don't like you said he's always Hogan, so I don't think he's gonna give you any
Yeah,
serious dialogue.
it's Hulk Hogan. We're never gonna get Terry Bollea in a real life situation. Um,
Closest you
it's
do is when he's there to help his son.
no, well, that's Terry Bollea in a hit in a recording, the same way we got Terry Bollea in another recording where he didn't realize, oh, I'm being recorded, even though they tell you when
Yeah,
you
that's the
call.
only time you get Terry. Yeah.
We'll get Terry then, but we'll never get Terry in the concept of, oh, this is just an interview with Terry Bollea. No, this is an interview with Hulk Hogan dialed down. You know, not Terry Bollea turned up. You got a interview with Hulk Hogan dialed down. Brother, I'm eating healthy, dude. All I do is drink a little bit of beer, brother. But then I don't eat anything. I don't eat meat, brother. I'm vegan, brother, because I'm praying to God, brother. You know, so what you're gonna do when the real heavyweight champion and real American beer won wild on you? Like that shouldn't end the interview with with anything. No, unless I'm getting ready to go and main event WrestleMania, but which he's not, right? Um, 700 Club. Have you ever
Oh,
seen
they'd
Hulk
love to
Hogan?
have him.
No, he's been on there. Have you ever
Oh, he's
seen
been
the?
on it.
Yeah,
I've
so
stopped. I well, so I don't watch TV much. Like actually surfing through channels. I feel like I haven't done that in years. But there was like during the holidays and Halloween is when I watch. I forgot what it's called now, but ABC Family.
hmm
Um, and so after certain time, 700 Club comes on,
yeah,
and I don't know, it's like the most negative crap ever.
it very is. It really is.
And so I've made it a purpose to avoid it. So
I'm just telling you, 700 Club, Hulk Hogan, which was last year, he did a 700 Club interview.
I'm about
Just
to go search for it.
just before he did the beer, just before he started working on the beer,
Pat Robinson, is that his name?
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So he went on there. He did. I forgot what he, but it was how he found God, and then but it was also it didn't make he's like, yeah, brother, I found God, and Sky Daily Hogan, she's the one that helped me be the man that I am today. She's a Scientologist. She doesn't believe
Oh
in God,
wow.
so
Well,
that doesn't.
he's not too far from Clearwater.
My wife, he lives in Clearwater.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he lived in Tampa.
No, no, no. He's from Tampa, but the beach shop is in Clearwater, and
Okay, so
yeah,
yeah, it's not surprising for him to find a Scientologist.
yeah. So you know, he's a woman like my age, and that is a Scientologist, and he's 70 years old. Um, I see him, Hulk Hogan, because like I said, we don't know Terry, and I I saw that he was booed. I feel sorry for the WWE more than I think anybody else. I think that was a bad call. I think they should have known it was a bad call.
Well, they've seen him get booed before, so I think they knew what they was in store for. Maybe not how bad it was gonna be, but they knew the crowd wasn't going to go crazy. Which, by the way, I recently watched him and Shawn Michaels the Backlash,
Yes.
and man, I mean, the crowd was like going nuts in anticipation for him, and it's
Hmm.
like, man, I haven't seen this in a long time.
And you'll never see that again. Never see that again. I saw something. I saw they said no, they said people will never know what it's like for a Hulk Hogan ovation again. And I was like, a Hulk Hogan ovation was something special.
For him to, he could win the crowd back over, but the steps he would need to take, he's not going to be willing to take because, like I said, he already thinks, like you said, the people that's forgave him, they've already done it. The people that's on his side, they're already there. And then in his mind, he probably sees it like how Trump sees the silent majority. So he's, this is just a bad town. The
Yeah.
Hulkamaniacs just wasn't in the building. That's just how he sees it. So for that, um, he ain't never going to get that ovation again. But he could easily came if he just shows signs. Hey, I understand how you feel. My bad. Let me talk with people. But he's not gonna do none of that stuff. He ain't gonna.
I feel like not only is he not going to, what's the need? Um, for
Well,
him,
that's the thing.
for him,
For
what's the
him, I
need?
guess no. But if you are like you say, a real American and not just in the pseudo sense like a right wing American, then like wouldn't you be like, well, what is this other side upset with me about? Like, well, let me understand. But I guess he doesn't. But
But who? But since if we're going to go the route of politics, who really is the person that wants to know why is somebody upset with them? Because we get into the facts of beliefs. Because once you get into a belief system, it's a different style of thinking. That's like if a sadist comes to a Christian and be like, hey, you know, I live my life as it is, and you go by these rules, but I'm nicer on paper than you are. But you think you're going to heaven just because you believe in Jesus and you treat me like shit. You treat me like shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
The person that is a Christian is still going to think I'm better than you for the simple fact that I believe in Jesus Christ. That's Hulk Hogan.
yeah,
He
I guess
is,
so.
you know what I'm saying? He's the person that, they'd be like, I hate all these foreign Muslims, brother. And, some of the closest people in my personal life are Muslims. And, and me personally, I'm anti-religion. We get along. You know what I'm saying? Because they understand, hey, I don't come with harm, brother. I respect what you respect, disrespect what I respect, and then we can all meet in the middle, brother. It's all about
Yeah, yeah,
values at the end of the day. But when you villainize differences, which is what Hogan and all the rest of the
yeah.
Republicans do, you're different than me, so you're a villain. Not that you're different than me. Oh, it's okay. You're not hurting nobody. You're just different.
So in your sense, instead of saying it like how I was, you're a real American, you would want to see the other side. But I guess in his sense, I'm a real American. They're not real Americans.
Yeah, I'm a real American. I'm right. You're wrong. I'm right. You're wrong.
It's a
You know,
horrible way to see things.
yeah. It's assimilate. Assimilate. I leave,
Oh,
and then that's
well,
how.
with that belief system, the last big ovation he's gonna get is the one he got at the RNC.
And he'll get one again, and every beer tour. I'm not gonna boo
Oh yeah,
Hogan.
yeah, yeah. He's
You know,
he'll
if Hogan went to the Walmart somewhere, not in this city, because that would never happen. But if he went to a Walmart, I can't even say. If he went to Kroger, Portland, now there's too many black people there too. He's
Yes.
he would. I don't know what Walmart he could go to. Probably none, not in this city. This is Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette would show up in this city and screw it all up, brother. But and
Oh
hell,
yeah, if he heard Hogan was coming to Kroger, he'd be on his way.
yeah, and the black people that would be there, maybe you, I know I'd be there. Uh, and I'd buy a thing of beer and give it to a drunk that I saw on the street. I'd keep one can just to put up behind me next to my Hulk Hogan action figure right here. But that's it. That's the only black people he's gonna see are black people that go to the beach shop to go get memorabilia.
And then they all saying they forgave him. So
Yeah, and I'm not.
there you go.
No, no, no. I'll go. I've not forgiven Terry Bollea because I don't know him. I'm not a fan of Terry Bollea. I don't know him. I'm not a fan of sexually fetishizing my daughter because I don't.
Do you, well, and
I,
that's one of the things like that. The thing said on the tape and the daughter thing. I've tried to defend like the because I was like, all right, he's in the heat of the moment, but it's hard to say when the exact quote was him saying he was racist. So it's like, oh well, how can I really defend it? I can't,
if
his
he
own.
says it,
Yeah, but the daughter thing is it just so happened that he liked somebody who looked like her?
I
I
mean,
don't know.
a part of me feels like it is because she looks like Linda and he has a type. And if your type is a blonde woman
Yeah,
with a buxom blonde woman, which is Linda Hogan, which was his wife, your daughter looks like her mother. There's too many things. There's nothing wrong with that. If your daughter looks like her mother and her mother is your type,
yeah.
but and being an overprotective father, my child is a dating age. I don't know if your child is a dating age, but mine is.
No, no.
Mine is legally an adult. So
Oh, really? Okay, okay.
my daughter turned 18 last August.
Oh, okay.
And but she understands like the only thing I want is I just want to meet you. I just want to meet them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, you know, now, a black, white, girl or boy, I don't care. I'm not the biggest gay advocate, but if my daughter like, hey, I wanna munch some tacos, I'm like, okay, bro.
I
It ain't
think
my favorite thing, but I'll,
I
I'll
would.
accept it.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't protest it. I just rather that exact quote not be shared with me.
Yeah, I mean, I hope she wouldn't
Yeah,
say it with me, but
I don't need. You
not
don't
to
get it.
not,
Spare me the details.
yeah, not to put my kid out here, but she's told me she's like, yeah, I tried to date a girl once, didn't work out. She was more emotional than I was,
Mm.
Um, and so now she's like, boys are fine, and I'm like, everybody's emotional. That's just people
Yeah,
in
yeah,
general. We all have emotions, feelings, and baggage that we are bringing into every relationship that we have, any interaction that we have with anyone. Just a romantic relationship takes a little bit more, but dealing with a child that's dating, you do become overprotective. But I'm not going to go cuss out and be racist. What my closest friends are Caucasian, so I'm not gonna be like, you with that freaking cracker, brother. Like, I'm not gonna say that. And maybe we're all racist. No, I'm not gonna say that to her. If she's with a black person, I'll be like, nigger. I'm not gonna do that either. You know, None of those things. No racial slurs will come out of my mouth towards someone. Um, but I'm not a 70-year-old man either. I'm not Italian. I wasn't raised in Florida. I wasn't taught that white is right. I was taught that, yeah, people are people. My mother, God rest her soul, she dated white men, and that was definitely not the thing in her age range. You
yeah,
know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying? But she didn't care. She's like, he likes the Renaissance period too. So do I. So we can talk about it. It's all about if you get along. Brooke was raised the in Florida in the 2000s and the 90s. Man,
I
that's hip
should knew
hop.
something was wrong when Brooke Hogan was in Double XL and they asked her who was her favorite rapper and she said Rick James.
No, she didn't know who that was. Rick James ain't never rap.
And they told her that and she was like, "Oh, well, it's rap to me." And I was like, "Uh."
No, man. That Super Freak was not a rap, and maybe she made MC Hammer. That's what I was thinking when I heard that. I was like, maybe she's talking about Hammer because
Maybe she was and just and
he
yeah, and just
sampled
get
he He sampled Super Freak. That's the only thing I was gonna think of.
I don't know what she was thinking.
It didn't make sense,
She's thinking first black dude that came to her mind too.
you know. But when she got into the culture, I think she liked it a little bit. And I think that made
Yeah,
him, and that made him upset. But I feel like you can't say you didn't like the culture because you hung out with Rodman and you got some residuals from hanging out with Rodman. You got
and
some,
rappers too. So like
yeah, and
but
rappers.
he was Hogan.
Yeah, Shaq. You're hanging out with Shaq. Shaq is the closest thing to you can be in hood without truly being in the hood is Shaq. You know,
But it wasn't like you said. It wasn't Terry. It was Hollywood.
it was Hollywood. It was the character. He probably was like, oh, I didn't touch like six niggers. Got to take a shower, brother. You know, which I don't. I hope he wasn't, but
Hopefully not. But you never know.
you don't know. But honestly, I probably think it probably wasn't like that. He probably didn't realize how he truly felt until he found out. Wow, my daughter is dating someone black, and my
And that,
grandson.
that probably is what it is.
And I think that's it more so than anything else. And my grandson, I don't think he minds hanging out with black people. Like just to be honest, I don't think he minds hanging out with black people. I don't think he minds letting a black person wrestle him and putting him over because he put over Kamala. Like he beat him ultimately, but Kamala has got a beat down on Hulk Hogan before.
Hogan
Uh,
still got the bigger check that night though.
Hogan gonna always get the bigger check, brother. That's just how it works.
Little
Especially around about that time. It didn't matter who he was wrestling. He got a bigger check than Warrior.
Milo's Milo's probably getting paid cents.
Oh yeah, on the dollar of Hogan compared to Hogan. I mean, hell, he took an elder warrior and he got a bigger check.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Well, that was one of those things he was complaining about. He said he wanted Hogan's pay. So
yeah, and he never got it. You know, um, Hogan's pay didn't get hit to Austin, and that was years later. Years later, when Hogan was making double Hogan pay by being Hollywood and wrestling a fifth of what he was wrestling in WWE. So I mean, Hogan pay was different, but when it comes to Hogan, I feel he probably didn't realize he was racist, and the racism that he has is racism that I personally know people that I know that are cool with black people, down with the culture. But then when you say, "Hey, this black man and this white woman are fraternizing," you're like, "Oh, I don't believe in this. I don't believe the races should mix." And then it's like, well, that doesn't even make sense because it's the human race, brother. But hey, that's when ideology and ignorance and all these other things come into play. So when it comes to Hogan, the racist that Hogan is the harmless racist because he ain't gonna bust a grape in a grape fight. Number one, um,
he's too
and
beat up now to even try.
oh, even when he was young, I don't think Terry Bollea can fight. Could have fought anyone. No, I'm being like legitimately serious. If that was the case, when Randy Savage beat him up, he's bigger than Randy Savage every day.
Well, it's funny you say that because they bring up a TNA story. They made it seem like Randy was scared of Hogan.
No, and I don't believe. I see that, but I don't believe it. I think Randy just didn't want to be
He just
upstaged by
didn't want
Hogan.
to. Okay,
Um,
I
you
thought he
know,
was just pissed off, just about just being taken by surprise. Like you didn't tell me he was gonna be here.
Probably
Eh,
both.
Yeah,
What are you trying to shoot an angle? Because at
yeah,
the
yeah. One of those things.
because Randy was like, I was trying to shoot a real life angle with this man, and he told me no. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff with them two. I don't think we'll ever know the truth because Hogan doesn't tell that. And
Oh yeah. Hogan
Ra-
says he's buried the hatchet with
yeah,
Randy, and I don't believe
no, right? And Randy's not alive, so
that.
to testify one way or the other, and Lanny, God rest his soul as well, didn't confirm or deny it, and I think he would have known if anybody was going to tell the truth about that. But I think that's enough about Hollywood and how he has retaken the world by storm with his beer. Hopefully, they'll come up with someone else to promote the beer. I just do what they do best, which is please just show commercials uh during the Raw broadcast, and please just don't have him on there anymore. Um, because I don't want to see that. It's kind of heartbreaking to me. Um, I'm just saying. I'm gonna say the last thing is this is the only the one of the few wrestlers that truly make tears come out of my eyes in a wrestling match, which is Hulk Hogan, and it was just kind of sad to see um, that they allowed him to go outside because I was like, man, you're in LA, you didn't get cheered in your own home state. Please don't do this. You know, we they have a real hero in Titus O'Neil, a man who saved lives, gave his own money, did campaigns for people in the community. Like he's in the community, legitimately in the community, on the ground, doing groundwork, building foundations for all of Florida, for all of everybody. And you got him booed, bro. You know, you can't do it. You're a great person.
He tried to save Hogan in that moment. So it didn't work.
Man, you can't save a drowning man. If he's ready to drown, let him drown. Um, but yeah, but then the main event of the evening,
Oh yeah.
a WrestleMania size main event, should have been for the World Heavyweight title. Other than we got a good package for Gunther, Logan Paul. If Logan Paul goes over, I don't know, we riot. Uh, but anyway, and not to even say that he wouldn't be a good WWE champion for a good 2 or 3 months for just for publicity, uh, to get the eyes on product. But man, CM Punk versus Seth freaking Rollins, man. What did you think about the main event?
I think it lived up to the hype. It was a WrestleMania type match. It should have been on WrestleMania. Um, but it delivered. And delivered in a way where I felt like it left room for part two.
I
Um, yeah, but no, I definitely thoroughly enjoyed it.
I agree. It was probably the match of the night for sure. In ring quality, build, everything. CM Punk to only have two, three, no two, uh, televised matches. Him, Drew, and then this match with Seth Rollins, and limited wrestling time. Like I'm pretty sure he's wrestled more times in his first year in AEW than he wrestled more times his first year in WWE. Um, and but the quality of the feuds, the quality of the promos, the quality of the opponents. There's nobody on the AEW roster other than maybe Bobby Lashley and Swerve, and probably Moxley with a little bit of fine tuning that can bring the caliber of promos and anticipation that and MJF. I'll give that to him as well, and match quality that you can have with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, and he's had bangers. With
Oh
the
yeah,
two matches
definitely.
that he had, just two matches, and that shows he might be the best all around package in the world because two matches and you can bring that much anticipation. Your in ring time might be 2 hours within a year, maybe two. It's not two, and it's not two. Maybe like an hour and a half. You put those, and that's including the Dominic Mysterio match that he had. Um, the non televised match
Yeah,
he had
yeah.
with Dominic, and the match he had with Gunther. I heard that was good too.
Oh, did
The
you? I haven't heard much about it.
I heard the cage match was good. Dominic screwed him, but the cage match was good. Um, whoever he feuds with, I feel like it's going to be gold. If it goes back to Seth Rollins, that's going to be gold. If it goes to if it doesn't go to Seth, if he goes to Roman, um, it's going to be good. I think the Royal Rumble is going to be telling to where everyone's going to be going. Granted, they could swerve us all by elimination chamber, but
Oh yeah. No, definitely.
I'm pretty sure we'll get a good taste of what we think the Royal Rumble plans for. Well, the WrestleMania plans will be after Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. Even if we get a number two, I would love to see that. The only thing I don't like about Raw in general is that the main storyline, the main focus, has nothing to do with the title because for some odd reason, no title matters. Braun Breaker is pretty much like the tweener that we never see. Uh, and
Was he in
he's
the crowd too?
yes, he was barking in the crowd. Um, it's so many guys that we see like Breaker. I think he's the guy. Um, I thought they were gonna put him in that spot, then they put him back, which is fine. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, it was
Br-
a weird moment where you teased that and then you took a step backwards a week later. I don't know where that was going.
I feel like Braun versus Jay could be the feud for Jay. Um, personally, Yeet, roof. We got barking and Yeet, barking and Yeeting, barking and Yeeting. Honestly, I'm gonna say this, and I know Jay has a lot of fans, but in ring, he can't touch it. He can't touch Steiner. Steiner's a better wrestler than Jey Uso. Um, Steiner's a better athlete than Jey Uso in
Yeah.
general. Um, those Steiners are freaks. Um, Genetic freaks, as Big Papa Pump would say. But I feel that Steiner is meant to be the guy, and he's over organically, just with barking and being good in the ring, like being good in the
Yeah,
ring.
no, definitely.
He's not. He's missing. Hopefully they get him in a feud soon, other than just with Sheamus. Like put the belt on Sheamus. That's fine. Uh, Also, we before we get off topic, John Cena put
Oh yeah, I
himself
forgot about that.
put himself in the Royal Rumble. Man, um, I know our colleague Shaw,
Really
Mr.
loved
Shaw,
himself some John Cena.
loves himself from John Cena. His pants got messy in the front from Cena, and he thinks that Cena will be um, W the WWE Heavyweight Champion or the World Heavyweight Champion. He's gonna uh, demolish Flair's WCW and WWE combined record, and he will become the 17 times guy. And Cena says he could win the Royal Rumble. Your thoughts on Cena winning the Royal Rumble?
Uh,
Cena's whole thing in general.
uh, Good to see him there, but everything he did that night reminded me of back when I didn't like him. uh, so he's cutting his speech like, "Oh, I want to win the WWE Championship," and my wife's there with me, and she's like, "Oh, he's not going. Why is he so down on himself?" And like, and it's like I knew where he was going, but it's just like he's John Cena. He's legendary John Cena now. Why do you have to force yourself in this uh you know underdog story? We don't need that. I don't need that from you. And you doing all that build yourself the hype now to be it looks like the forefront for winning the Royal Rumble, and it's like I don't need that.
Put that
I
cape
don't.
on again. Super Cena
Yeah,
has returned.
and at that point, like I rather in him instead of doing that said like, hey man, this is my last year. I'm just gonna go out here and let you know I'm going to WrestleMania. Don't do the whole. Well, maybe I got a chance. Like what? No, I don't want that. And that's the type of stuff that made me not like him the last time.
Yeah, I get it. You- and I get that. Wow. So Cena, man. I think we all had a moment where we liked John Cena and we didn't like John Cena, unless we were a child, and then Cena's your Hogan, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, you're less problematic Hogan. Um, oh no,
Unless you watch Total Divas.
and then you know that Cena's a psychopath, but
He is.
in real life, like let's not lie, Cena's abusive, a psychopath, like
Oh, I can only imagine like he's got some
yeah.
weird like OCD type thing at his house. The blue spoons go here.
Hmm.
Yeah, he definitely seems.
Cena seems like one of those killers off Criminal Minds. Like, like he definitely seems like something. The FBI is gonna show up in his house with a off an airplane and just kick his door in, and he got like some beat up women that didn't put the fork back the wrong way, like murdered, beat up and gagged, but still giving him an adequate amount of protein, carbs, and fats because he can't have you have an off balance diet. You're just down there on an IV drip. Got some sick ditty crap going on. But back to back to the wrestling part of Cena. Man, Cena, I didn't like this promo. Not that he can't give cut a promo. It wasn't a bad promo. It's just like I don't want you. It's it's too many people that could be the Raw win the Royal Rumble. Cena, The Rock, hell, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins. I'd rather see those names. Even The Rock, more so than Cena. If The Rock wins, it's relevant because it's relevant to Cody. Um, if Roman wins, it's sure as hell relevant because he's never got a rematch for his title. He
Yeah.
held it for 3 years and he didn't get a shot back. Come on, man, that doesn't make sense. CM Punk's back.
Well, he
He's
was
stick.
he was more focused on getting his knuckles back.
Yeah,
So
I mean, he got his older follow. He's back. He got his family back, his spot back. Yeah. But Cena winning doesn't make sense. If Cena won Money in the Bank again and didn't and cashed in on Braun Breaker and he won the Intercontinental title, I'm gonna always say that Cena just needs to win the Intercontinental title so he can say he won everything. But he doesn't need to beat Flair. Like I've stated before to you offline, Flair's last win means something to me.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm not a Flair fan, but Flair's last win means something to me.
But I wonder why. I mean, I guess we need to build this anticipation about 17, but it needs to be stated that no one has won the WWE Championship more times than John Cena.
Very true. Very
He's
true.
already done that. So what are we talking about?
But I guess since they put the lineage of the WCW Heavyweight Championship, because as Ric Flair stated, he's won like
Yeah,
30 world
yeah, and
championships.
that's where it gets even sillier because he's like, well, I didn't even win it. I won it more times than 16. So it's just like, all right, what kind of game are we playing here? This is,
So and I believe it's true. I mean, we can also go to say that if we just
but
want
some
to
of
talk,
those wins is like he lost it in Puerto Rico and then won it
money
back
back.
to,
That's
and then
true.
like none of us seen that.
But then but we can also go and say that if we just want to talk about champions and wrestling in general, the Southern Heavyweight Championship has been won by Jerry Lawler at least 70 times.
Yeah, but see, they don't count that one.
So I mean, I think we can if we just want to talk about champions, it's like Harley Race, Ric Flair, Jerry Lawler, like those guys. Granted, they
So let
all
me ask a question. This is a little off topic. How come Jerry Lawler never won NWA championship? Did he just not go outside of Memphis enough?
I think he did win it. I think it was a debacle type deal.
No.
So it was one of those you win it, but you got to go back and you got to give the title back. And because he won that, I think he did win the NWA. I know he won the AWA, and that was a debacle. With Jerry, Yeah, Jerry was lightweight gangster the way he did business in the wrestling ring.
Let's say back in the day during the territories, all the territories was like that.
Yeah. So, but you couldn't go in the South without Jerry because he was the king of Memphis, but he was king of the South. Other than Dusty, there was nobody pretty much had more pull in the South than Jerry Lawler, unless you want to talk about Texas, and then you got the Von Erich boys.
So is this more of a case of like he was just mainly focused on his area?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jerry was very very I'm Memphis, Louisville, and a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit of Texas.
And he was just
The
cool with that.
and just cool with that because I mean the man was could have been mayor before 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 there was any kind of Kane type of mayor of anything. You
Yeah,
know
yeah.
he could have been that guy, and that was just off of wrestling credit. Like he didn't have to say anything remotely that had to do with politics. It's just Jerry Lawler was that over.
He tried one time though.
Yeah, I mean he could have won.
It
Yeah, I
was
mean
too. I think it was a little.
a
He was
little
too
late,
late. And yeah,
a little late, and he was already in the WWE personality.
that
Um,
and he had a little controversy.
the cat,
Oh, but I was talking about before that. I think the accusation he had on him.
yeah, the accusations, the sexual accusations, which are probably true. Um,
Oh man, don't.
I'm just no. I mean, I think anybody around about that time that was close to Vince McMahon, you got to do something to get into
I
the
remember
Illuminati.
being a kid and people already having stories about him in Louisville. So
Yeah, and it's in
yeah,
the city. Well, I mean, there's all kinds of stories about everybody in this city. I mean,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Marcus Houston got a few stories in his city.
Yeah,
Uh, so you come down here, you think ain't nobody gonna kiss and tell. Everybody tells in Louisville, but this ain't the place you want to be. you know,
yeah,
Not if you're gonna
yeah.
do something shady. Somebody gonna talk about it because somebody's gonna boast about it. You know. But with Jerry could have been anything. Jerry could have been the man, but I think in WWE if he would have went a little bit sooner, because he was
Yeah,
always his matches. The few matches he did have were always good. But him and Bret Hart always put on good matches. Um,
and that's another thing. They trusted, having Brett feud with the commentator.
because at the end of the day, they knew Jerry could go. Uh, you know, I know most of the people just know him as, oh, there's that commentator guy, not know him as, man, that's the king of Memphis right there. That's Jerry the King Lawler. Not just the king because he's the king of the commentary booth. He's the king because when he's in the ring, he is doing his thing. He's the guy, and he's over, you know. But when it comes to Cena, I hope he doesn't win. Uh, I don't care what Cena does. Like I'm not gonna not enjoy it. Like I respect John Cena. John Cena has Louisville heritage in his career, with him being an OVW alumni. I've seen the prototype wrestle, which I'm pretty sure you have as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've seen the prototype in the mall, which I'm pretty sure you probably have as well. You know, so I know there should be a Louisville stop this year.
I think it's arguably that his best run was with bowling services.
Yes, sir. Hey, everybody had a great role with Kenny.
There's some clips of him with Kenny Bolin and man, what's his name? And Mark Cuban
Yeah,
that are just hilarious.
young Cena, character wise, like wrestling Cena, Cena's wrestling is always in. Uh, but Hogan's wrestling was in.
You know what? What I've noticed though about with Cena and his wrestling is, um, I think it's like and when it's a Cena match, when he's the one that's calling all the shots, when it's that, then it's Amp. But when he's in there with like a AJ Styles or Shawn Michaels or a CM Punk, someone else that's like also calling it, then it,
Yeah,
it, it turns different. But
I'm
your
not. Yeah,
usual Cena matches, I mean, it's fan service if you're a Cena fan.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, the Cena match and the Hogan match is the same. He gets beat
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
He gets beat up. He does his moves. Cena's protoplex, five knuckle shuffle. You know, you take a swing, I duck. Attitude adjustment, match over.
While I'm yelling this out
Yes,
across
yes,
the room.
very loud. Shoulder block, shoulder block. I'm
Like it's a video game, like it's Street Fighter.
Mhm. Protoplex. You can't see me. Five knuckle shuffle. Pump up my shoes. Attitude adjustment. I mean, I think if you've seen a match, you know how that goes. You don't need to tell me. I know what we're getting ready to happen. But no, I totally agree with you. Cena has had great matches. Him and Triple H at that WrestleMania where they did it. I forgot the number, but
Oh
they
yeah,
did it.
yeah.
And then the next year he wrestled Shawn when it was supposed to be Triple H again, but Triple H was injured by then, and Shawn stepped in, and he
Don't
can't.
you love Triple H? Like he's like, all right, you can be a guy, but
Mm,
I'm facing you 2 years in a row. I don't.
mm-hmm. To 2 years, I'm getting 2 years. Damn it, I'm hurt. Well, my best friend got it. One of us going. You gonna wrestle one of us, buddy. You know what I'm saying? And it was definitely true that you were gonna wrestle one of them. But they
That's the
both
only
get.
thing I hated about that second run of Sean. It was just like he was just fine with just being in that
Being
just
there.
saying number two to Triple H, but apparently like he still was asshole Shawn Michaels backstage.
That's what they. That's what Rob Van Dam said.
Like I just seen a story from Cody Rhodes where he said they did a match and he kind of like sold the super kick a little bad or something. He said Sean lifted him up and said, "Don't you ever do that again," or something like
I
that.
believe it. I believe it. I think you can love God all you want, but you are who you are as a person.
Yeah, I go to
And
church. There's a lot of assholes in church.
yeah.
It's not.
Oh. I'm
Yeah, it's.
brother. I grew up in a very religious.
And I know
Found.
people find that hard. Like, how can you be a jerk and and just like no, like he believes in God. He's trying to live
Hmm.
life right, but he's still a jerk. Like
He's
it's not.
still
It
who he
does.
is. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's not.
it didn't change him as a person. It just changed his outlook on what he should do. But he ain't there yet. But he's
Yeah, like
still he's still working, brother.
he's still gonna
Um,
cuss you out. Like it's.
yeah, he's still gonna be like, God damn it, you're a piece of shit. See you on Sunday. Motherfucker. So Sean was still Sean. He's still asshole Sean, not as bad.
And
And
it's just like
and
if you still all that and you're still so strict about how his matches go and about all this stuff, why can you just push for a couple more title runs?
I think still you can push for all the title runs you want, but the dynamic of who was the man was still Triple H. It wasn't Sean. Like it was Sean the first time, but Triple H was already diddling
He
Stephanie, so he was the man. It was
so
like, oh
he
no,
could have
I'm the
went
man.
on SmackDown. He could have did that, and still it is even though he was playing number two to Triple H, but I mean everything he did, like let's say Son had a match with Taker, Triple H had a match with Taker. That match
Mm-hmm.
with Triple H and Taker never got that same hype.
Oh
Like he
no.
never got that same response that Sean did. And I know this wasn't something that he wasn't noticing.
Oh no.
Like,
He knows that. Triple H is not a believable babyface. Triple H is the better heel. Some people are better as heels, especially after he got big. When he got big and got muscular,
yeah.
you can't see him. And he stopped dyeing the hair blonde, let it be brown. And he, he
Although
wasn't.
Evolution Triple H, my favorite Triple H hair.
Yeah, he was, and it was blonde then, but he was emulating Ric Flair.
He was. That whole gimmick was.
It
And I
was
don't know
Rick.
why Rick was okay to
He was
play.
being Arn Anderson.
Yeah, like it was just weird. Like you're okay with him being you and
You,
you not. I don't
you
know.
being a
Whatever.
parody of you, and him being you. You know. him holding the title the way you did, wearing a suit, coming out to
Cutting
slower
his
music.
promo. Oh my god, dude, that Raw era with him. I mean, Raw would start with him cutting a 30-minute promo about nothing, and
Mm-mm.
then being in the main event. It was like this man had to be all over the show.
He was on the show. Everybody else had a. You got a short time to get your shit in before Triple H has a 30-minute match at the end of the show. Triple H gets an hour. You
You
know,
get a 30-minute promo, a 30-minute main event,
and
and it
that
always
was.
ends. Even if he won or lost, it ends with Evolution beating everybody up, him holding the title. It
Mhm.
just
But back to what you said about the reason Sean. I think the reason Sean didn't leave is at that part of SmackDown, you had people like Brock and Batista. Sean didn't want to work with either one of those. Not on that level. Like he worked with Batista in Evolution, but when Batista became a solo guy, he didn't want to work with that version of Batista.
he did it once, but the main storyline wasn't Batista. It was the Jericho thing.
Yeah,
So he did the. I think they did like an ambulance match or something.
yeah,
But yeah, the main storyline was Jericho, but they did have a pay-per-view match though, Batista and
yeah.
Shawn. But it was still all about Jericho not believing Shawn was hurt, or I don't
Yeah,
know.
I remember that. I remember that one. But during that time, I don't think Sean really wanted to work with those guys. That SmackDown era guys, the Eddie Guerrero's, Sean versus Eddie, which I know that was supposed to happen later on down that year when Eddie was supposed to re-win the title when Ray won the title. But you, Sean wouldn't have been. He wasn't the focus because yes, he should have won the title again. That one title that he did win in the Elimination Chamber with the Duty Brown tights. Um, that he deserved more than that. I think. I would like to see him win one more time, and I don't mean but I know he didn't want to win that ugly Cena belt. Nobody wanted that. And even though a lot of that belt is synonymous with so many great title runs, Edge.
I, I hear that Shawn and Triple H didn't like the. Well, I mean nobody didn't like the new tag team belts, so that's why those belts was already made, but they was keeping the double belts
Because a
and
lot
just
of
waiting.
until it was
Yeah, they
over.
was waiting on somebody else to win it and give them those new belts. But it's like if your current champions is already saying, yeah, them belts is ugly. Why are you still have them?
I mean, WWE is about branding. We know that, and ugly or not, um, wow. So we can talk about ugly belts. The WWE Championship is gaudy. It's not even ugly. It looks like a toy.
It
Um,
does.
the Winged Eagle looks like $1 million. The World Heavyweight Championship is synonymous with wrestling. Like if you ask everybody that what's a wrestling title, they bring the old school big gold, like the WCW heavyweight title. That's a title. That's a belt. They might think of the maybe a smoking skull belt, but they don't think of what you see right now as the WWE Championship. And that's the most horrible looking belt that we could probably ever think. A big W. That's all we got. Wrestling. That's all. That's all we have. It doesn't ring prestige. It doesn't ring royalty. It doesn't ring anything um, other than branding.
Cody holding it like it's the NWA belt does make it look a little prestigious.
Cody coming out with the suit on, it's cool. Holy
But he
Cody,
needs to do that with the Winged Eagle though.
which it only had that with one man, and that was the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Uh, and Sean sometimes, but it usually was the Intercontinental title when Sean would come out like that, and it just didn't
Yeah, he
feel,
did. He did hold it the Intercontinental like that.
And Bret Hart, it was just the over the shoulder, you know. Hogan always wore the Winged Eagle. He always had it on. It was on his body. Get the photo out, brother, because it's on my body.
He's too
Now,
paranoid somebody's gonna take it.
that was before the Velcro. That was snaps then, brother. You would it's gonna take a while to get it unsnapped from him. You know, but hopefully they do. I know you've seen the new winged eagle design that they have teased.
No, I
Um,
haven't.
Now, yeah, they showed it on. It was on one of the websites where it is the winged eagle, but in the middle, instead of the belt, instead of being the globe, it's the WWE
I hope
sign.
it's not too bad. No.
I mean, it's the exact winged eagle, but the only thing different is it says WWE, not WWF, and it has the instead of the world in the middle. You know how the eagles usually holding the globe.
Yeah.
It's holding a circle, a blue circle with a white WWE logo in the middle. But it's the exact same winged eagle belt.
Okay. I ain't mad at
Um,
that.
I think that would be a little bit better than what they have right now. A fusion of both. A nice thing, at least for
I mean,
Cody.
they went ahead and made something to look like the big gold, so
Yeah,
we can do this.
I would be happy with that.
And they see
Um,
how crazy people are reacting to the winged eagle, so
I think it's just us old people.
it
I
might
know.
it might be that.
Think it's us old heads. I don't think the people that are eating with Jey Uso that are like 10, 15 years old, they're not wrestling historians. They don't care. They're not going back. Oh yeah, I remember that Shawn Michaels Bret Hart or Iron Man match. That's my favorite match. How are you, kid? I'm 10. Yeah, I like that hour long match. There was such a chess match between two greats. No, they're not saying that. They don't care. You know, they're talking about. I want that belt that Roman had. Ooh ah, throwing up ones.
Yeah, it might unfortunately it might be the
That's the truth of that's the fact of the matter. But we also have to think um, the WWE, which I would like to say is the greatest gaslighter in the world, by telling you should clap for spending more money on the tickets that you probably paid for last year for Raw.
Oh god.
Yeah, I played 300. I paid only 70 for them last year. This time I paid $300. Same seats, though. Yay! We overpaid for some damn seats.
Ugh.
They clapped too though. Every one of them stood up and cheered that they wasted money. Not even wasted money because I mean Royal Rumble is the most expensive thing I think I'll ever go to in a wrestling event in my whole life because I know I was at Judgment Day and I was in nosebleed seats and it was only $52.
So I do plan to go Indianapolis for SummerSlam and WrestleMania. Now, obviously, the prices may tell me otherwise, but currently, I am, I mean,
I
it's
mean,
WrestleMania. I gotta find a way.
WrestleMania is I'll find a way. If I don't make it to
I
SummerSlam, I'll be heartbroken. But if I don't go to WrestleMania, I failed as a human being.
I went to SummerSlam in Nashville, so I could be okay if I miss it.
WrestleMania is a must for me when it does go to Lucas Oil Stadium. As soon as I get a date, I know it's not this year, but if it's next year, I think it'd probably be maybe 2 years from now.
Yeah, I think it's
Um,
gonna be because I think this they're doing like
a year, one a year,
yeah, one a year. So I think next year will be the SummerSlam, and then the next year will be the
be the
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. So if I got 3 years to plan, that I'm not gonna go to the SummerSlam, but if I got 3 years to plan for this WrestleMania, I'll definitely do it. But that's if I make it to this Royal Rumble.
Oh damn! I just realized there's a night one and night two. It's like, oh my god.
Oh no, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna pick a night.
I
That
definitely would be there that weekend because WrestleMania. There's always a bunch of
that's
like
an event.
activities
Yeah.
going. Yeah, so I for sure would be even if I didn't get no tickets. I'm gonna be there because I'm gonna catch something There's gonna be some indie shows. There's gonna be the NXT. I'm catching something, so I'm gonna be out there for sure if I can't get it. But the goal is to at least get one night's ticket.
Yeah, for me as well. One night's ticket and meet and greet. And if my favorite wrestler's not dead by then, or shot, or killed, or in a nursing home,
Oh God,
uh,
he'll be fine. He'll
uh, whatever it is, if that old man is still crippling around,
just
and
take your Florida trip and meet him at the beach at the beach store.
I don't want to go to Florida. No, I don't want to go to Florida at all. Um, yeah, Florida alligators and white people. That doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me, brother. Uh, but but no, but no, but I would honestly want to meet him in a wrestling setting, not just at the beach house. Because
Oh,
I could
really?
have.
Because I think it seems like he seems more friendly there. Like he's out promoting the place. He's doing arm wrestling contests.
I don't want to do an arm wrestling contest. If I lose to Hogan, I hate myself. You know, you know. No. But anyway, no. But no, I just wouldn't want to go in the context of the beach shop just because I would just be going for that. Like, I wouldn't meet anybody else. I don't care if I meet Brian Knobs or even Jimmy Hart at this point in my life.
What's Brian
Uh,
Knobs doing there? Is he serving the drinks?
Brian Knobs was once again one of Hogan's friends who gets a payday because he's Hogan's friend.
Oh, that was a question I had.
Hmm?
What the, what was Jimmy Hart doing during NWO?
Oh, Dungeon of Doom.
Okay,
He was running around with Kevin Sullivan. Rest in peace, Kevin Sullivan.
okay, because I asked that because I just seen an interview and they was asking about him and Hogan leaving and going to WCW, and
Hmm.
I was like, well, wait, what were you doing during those times? My mind just went blank. I
No,
just yeah.
everybody was easy to get lost in the shuffle. There was only a very few people that I think everybody kept up with. You knew probably what Eddie Guerrero was doing during the NWO. You probably knew everybody knew what Goldberg was doing because he never joined the NWO. You knew what DDP was doing because he also never joined the NWO. Luger only joined the Wolfpack, him and Sting. Um, there's some people you knew what they were doing, but managers like Jimmy Hart, you didn't know what he was doing.
Like
When it
Ted
comes,
DiBiase was there one day and gone the next. Ooh.
well, Ted DiBiase was in the NWO for a long time. If you remember, he was billionaire, trillionaire Ted. He was
Yeah, they
trillionaire
they
Ted.
they really they really went up with that one.
Yeah, he skipped billions and went to trillion because billionaire Ted was Ted Turner. He really was a
Yeah,
billionaire, and he was Ted Turner. He was billionaire Ted, but he was trillionaire Ted because he backed the NWO. But the DiBiase didn't want to be in the NWO anymore because he became religious. So that's when he started working with the Steiner brothers instead. Uh,
he was too religious for the. All right, Ted DiBiase was too religious for the
oh God, I know where we're
NWO,
going.
but not too religious for taking that public aid money. I
Taking stealing from this film, stealing from those people.
I you know I gotta hand it to him. I gotta hand it to him and white people in general because that is ridiculous. Uh, because it's just like what, how was whatever. I don't whatever.
I mean, there's a lot of things when it comes to DiBiase. He's a complicated man. Um,
And how did he get off the hook, but his son didn't?
Ted said he didn't know. He said he
Oh,
just
okay.
Ted said he was just getting money from his son.
Ted Jr. should have said the same thing. I didn't know either.
Well, Ted Jr. was in charge of the accounts. Ted Sr. was just there.
Okay.
So if he's in charge of the funds, brother, if you're just receiving funds because you're working with someone else, that's a totally different story. You know, and I think probably Ted probably knew, but he wasn't. His son probably just said, "I'll take the rap because my dad's too old to go to jail."
Oh, definitely. Oh, I definitely believe that.
So with Ted, but back to Jimmy. Jimmy, I don't know if you remember. So Jimmy did come in with Hogan, and he was Hogan's manager in
I
WCW.
do remember that.
So then Hogan went to the dark side of Hulkamania when he first started working wearing black and red. He shaved and cause Kevin Sullivan shaved off his mustache.
That grew right back, right?
He wrestled without a mustache for like a month. And he without a mustache and a neck brace because the giant twisted his neck and snapped his neck, brother. Um, so he came up there, and that was when they painted the Big Show to be Andre's son. Um, but so during that time, it was like how are you getting in, how are you knowing everything about Hogan, and who was the rat in Hulkamania. So Jimmy screwed Hogan and helped the Giant win his WCW
Okay, yeah, no, I don't
title.
remember that part. Yeah,
hmm
no.
And that's when Jimmy turned heel and helped start the Dungeon of Doom with with the Taskmaster. With the Taskmaster, him, Kevin Sullivan, and then Brutus Beefcake also turned the Booty Man, as he was named at that time. The Booty Man
Horrible,
became
horrible nickname.
the butcher because he couldn't be the barber, and
How
he
can he be the
became
barber?
WWE owns barber. They own
Oh.
Brutus. They own the name Brutus the Barber Beefcake. They just now gave it to him. There's Triple H is like, I don't care. You're old to me. But
But that said, with WWE, so idea is like we own the character. Anybody can be the character. Why don't they just have somebody else just play Hulk Hogan? Just go out there and play Hulk Hogan and sell the beer.
and you don't think they get booed? If Roman
have
Reigns,
have our truth out there, tend to be Hulk
yeah,
Hogan.
my childhood hero Hulk. Ooh, token nigger, and then he's got to leave. He's got to go back. Don't you ever rap with Hulk Hogan in the background?
Oh God.
You know, I believe that it won't work at all for anyone to sell that beer on TV. Um,
That beer isn't gonna sell.
the beer sells. The people that want to buy the beer because they want to support Hulk Hogan. They want to support Donald Trump. They want to support
But is it?
the
And
idea.
maybe you know what? I take it back because stereotypically I do link beer drinkers with,
Wrestling fans
yeah. I guess I just
and white
I don't
people.
I just yeah, like, but I guess I'm just looking at it like I don't. But then again, I'm not enough around enough of those kind of white people to know how popular this beer is. But I don't. It's like it's not something I hear anybody talk about. So I'm just like I feel like this is gonna be a flop. I'm not saying I wanted to. I'm not saying that. But it's just like I don't see nobody really like this taking off. Like I don't. But it could, I guess.
I don't see the beer becoming like a household name like Budweiser. Now, like even natural ice. Like it's not gonna be. It's not a natty light or nothing like that. Like it's not gonna be on college campuses everywhere. It's not that beer. Um, I think there be some people that like, I don't want to support Budweiser because they support gay people.
Oh, you know what? That could have been one of the launching ideas right there. Like Hogan,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that's not drinking Budweiser. Maybe we should come in and give them
Mm,
something alternative, something American.
something
Wait a
real,
minute, you got
real
something
American.
there, brother.
Exactly. That works for me, brother. And
Funny
creative
story.
control.
I got a. I'm at the mall. This is like in the summer of the people hate Budweiser, um, era.
Yeah.
And I'm at Walmart and they got these giant Budweiser pool floats
Mm-hmm.
for like $5. I don't drink anything. I, Dude, a deal's a deal.
You
We
got
got
them.
it. Yeah. I'm like, I mean, it was giant. Like I'm like laying in the pool with this. Like this was, yeah. I didn't care.
Nothing wrong with that. That's
Shout
fine.
out to Budweiser for that
Shout out
great
to
pool float.
Budweiser for the
Yeah.
floaters, the $5 floaties. Man, I mean, I get it. Sometimes marketing and price matter more than anything else. Um, with Hogan in this beer, I saw the line, man, and the line looked like one of those Cody Rhodes meet and greet at cricket lines
Oh, did it?
for seeing that Hogan beer. But there was
Man.
people,
Okay.
but I don't know if they were they probably bought the beer, but I mean, I don't like cereal. I have a box of He-Man cereal on my top shelf. It's unopened, but it's a box of He-Man cereal. And
Okay.
if Hogan had
You
the
don't need
beer,
cereal?
yeah, they made cereal. It was there for
No, no. So you don't
oh
need
no, no,
cereal?
no. Too many carbs. It don't make sense.
Oh,
Um,
I am a
Cereal
I
connoisseur.
yeah. I was gonna say a trash panda when it comes to food in general. You know, all the bad stuff. So yeah, yeah. I'm eating cereal.
Oh well, cereal doesn't serve a purpose. Yeah, oatmeal is my cereal.
I've
Um,
been eating oatmeal more than anything. So like I'll eat oatmeal like during the week, like at work.
mhm.
But like Saturday morning, if I'm not like actually like making me like a bacon egg sandwich, I'm some cinnamon toast crunch.
Okay, okay, all righty. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Cereal's not a big deal. Like when my kids over my house, my son doesn't eat cereal with milk, so it doesn't matter with him.
He
Uh,
just eats the raw cereal.
he eats the raw cereal.
My
I
daughter
don't.
does that. I'm not a fan of it. She now eats the milk, but she had a phase where it was just like just eating the cereal.
Yeah,
And I was
I
just like,
get.
yeah, I don't like that.
I get that. I get that. Now my girlfriend should.
We gotta fake the nutrition. Like at least add some milk to
At
it.
least put some protein in there somewhere, okay? Some
Yeah, you
vitamin
know.
D. Um, I get that because cereal doesn't have too many any nutritional value.
Yeah, we at
Uh,
least gotta act like we trying, you know.
yeah,
That's
but with me it's just a little oatmeal, put a little protein powder in there. I'm good. Uh, you know, that's all you need: oatmeal and protein.
okay. I've been eating the oatmeal, the protein Kroger oatmeal, and it is I'm tired of trying it. I went back to the regular. And
There's nothing wrong with that.
well, because
Just
I was
get
like, all right, they had made it, and I said, well, you know what? I'm eating this Kroger oatmeal because it's cheaper. If they do a protein version, I'll go
you'll
ahead,
go
I'll
with
go
that one.
back. And then I went in the store, I was like, oh, they got the protein oatmeal. All right, I'll get it. And I'm eating, I'm like, I ain't a fan. And I'm tired of pretending like I'm a fan. I don't want it.
So why don't you just go and buy protein powder and there's a flavor that you like a flavor that this tastes pretty good, and just pour the protein powder in
I
there
guess I will.
and mix it together.
Yeah.
That's hey, Michael B. Jordan did it for the role in Creed.
Oh, did he?
Yes, it's easy to get down. It's easy. That's
Okay.
25 grams of protein, and then you get the 5 grams of protein that comes from the oatmeal itself, from a single serving of oatmeal. So that you get 30 grams of protein right there, easy, done,
Okay.
slammed and done. You don't have to think about it. It's easy to eat. It's definitely easier to eat than a steak. A piece of chicken, okay, in the morning when you first wake up.
Yeah,
Back,
I seen that Rock died. He said he's eating like a whole thing of chicken, a whole thing of fish. This daily routine didn't sound believable at all. It seemed like
no,
a menu made up by an AI bot or something. Like it
I
didn't.
honestly think it's probably if you're not a professional bodybuilder, you don't eat like that. And if you're a professional bodybuilder, that's your job. That's all you do. Your whole job is
That's
to look
fair.
like that.
That's fair.
You know,
Yeah. Okay.
um, I as a person who tried to live that lifestyle when I was younger, that's all I did. I worked and ate. Every break, there was a
Mm.
weighed out meal of food.
How
And
do
I
you
worked
afford that though?
Aldi. What do you mean? Aldi and Sam's Club. You just buy stuff in bulk.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I'm not talking about I eat like Jay Cutler or Ronnie Coleman, the professionals who can get a whole cow cut and stuff like that. But you can get cheap sources of protein. Um,
Okay.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel.
It's there. But with The Rock, I don't. I mean, with The Rock, I don't think it's because he's too busy. There's too many things you have to do.
Yeah, he rolled out a schedule. It was like a meeting here, then eat a thing of fish here. It was a robot schedule, and it's just no way a regular person can do that regularly. Like I can
I
see a
mean,
one day I had meetings here, I was eating like crazy. But to do this every day, I don't believe it.
no, I don't think he does it every day. I think he does it quite often because he still looks good. Steroids or not, you have to put in the work to look
Yeah,
that good to
yeah.
be an old man. Uh, does he put in the work? Yeah. Does he eat a lot of food? Probably so. But some of that's probably shakes. Some of that's probably supplementation. Yeah, supplements are there so you don't have to continuously eat all day.
Well, maybe you can share that plan with Chris Jericho.
Jericho doesn't care.
I guess at the CNN match he last Saturday, I guess it's
Uh,
obvious he don't care.
Maybe Jericho doesn't. Did you watch the one last night?
Is that the one with Dax?
Yes.
Because I seen it last night. I thought it was from Saturday. Oh damn! It Saturday is last night.
Saturday was it? No,
Yeah, my
remember, I don't
bad.
know if you saw the chat when because you asked about Corey Graves being knocked back down. I was like, oh, you're just now watching
Yeah,
NXT.
yeah. I guess I was under the assumption that like he was just there like that for just that night, and like oh no, he's been moved. Like
hmm
oh
He got screwed. Um, I'd be mad. I'd be like, oh no, Wade can come back to NXT. Fuck that. I'm not doing
yeah,
it.
that's an odd thing, I'm assuming, and I don't know, but I'm assuming they're paying Corey more than Wade. And I don't think Wade would have been offended if he got went back to NXT. But I guess they like the team of,
Him and
you
Joe.
know, yeah. I guess uh, but Corey NXT, it just don't sound right. No, no, and that's no disrespect to NXT, obviously, but it's just like Corey's been built to be like, you know,
The number two guy.
yeah. So I don't know.
I don't understand why NXT needs three people in the first place. Um, I'm not saying move Booker, dude, but I think Corey's better than Booker.
Yeah,
Um,
but now I think Booker has been like he's like a staple at NXT now. Uh,
Booker is part of Trick's entrance.
yeah, like
Yeah, man.
I mean, and just like he has some crazy reactions to like a lot of people. So it's just like
Booker's
he's not,
funny. Booker Shaw,
yeah. This,
Booker
this
is what
new
Shaw
Booker
is to
has
this
been, yeah, like Booker.
to this
I'm
chat.
not used to this version of Booker, but he's there.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
Lola Vice, man. Look at him, man. Yeah, shake it, Lola. And then Nikita lines, yeah, look at Nikita. Throw it, Nikita. I'm like, no, bro, stop. Charmel not giving you none, bro. God, good God.
which is weird because it's like who is it? Is it Roxanne?
Hmm
That he looks at as like one of his kids.
Yeah, but he never says anything sexual about Roxanne.
Yeah,
Never,
yeah.
never. He's like, that's the prodigy, man. She's one of us, man. Reality of wrestling. Like, yes, that's where she trained, and she's a Texas girl.
But
But everybody else that he didn't train,
fair game.
yeah, you know, yeah. If I didn't have Charmel, well, yeah, man. No, bros, please stop, because you old enough to be everybody's daddy on the
Yeah,
roster. I'm old enough to be
yeah.
some of them daddy, and you older than me. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm old enough to be Thea's Hale's daddy. I'm not gonna be like, I look a little Thea. She's a grown ass woman, man. No, bro. No, that's a little girl. Leave her alone.
Yeah, I like to believe he's just turning up for the show. I hope he's not. This is not his inner thoughts being spoken on the air. I hope not.
What are your thoughts on Booker T recently wrestling Zilla?
So I know as far as storyline over there goes, everything makes sense, and I didn't watch it, so I I guess I'm feeling odd about him beating Zilla,
Zilla.
even though I've gone on the record many times in our group chats that I'm not the biggest fan of Zilla.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I still didn't think Booker needed to beat him. But then again, I didn't watch it. I seen AJ was in the
AJ
ring,
Francis.
so I'm assuming a lot of things went down. Um,
There was some tomfoolery.
yeah, it seemed like it because I was like, what is he even doing there? I don't.
I thought that was crazy. I felt like Booker didn't need the win, but to see that AJ is one step closer to come back home to the WWE, because he's working with he decided not to do AEW, ROH, nothing like that. He obviously doesn't want to go to the opposition. He's not trying to be an op to the WWE. He's
Yeah.
going to WWE adjacent promotions. You know, I think he wants to go back home,
Oh, of course.
and I think he can, because I think Triple H liked him. Triple H gave him a show when they were going around trying to find those missing artifacts in WWE at first.
Which confused the hell out of me because um I don't think I wasn't fully like full time watching NXT, and so I see him on the show first,
Yeah,
and then I see him rapping with Hit Row, and I'm like, what is going? I've seen this man before, and I was
why
like,
do I
wait a
know
minute,
him?
he was trying to get Jerry Lawler's stuff back.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't-
Why the host on his television show wrestling in this match? It didn't make sense. The only reason you would know that is if you watched all of WWE content, which I was watching around about that time, and so I was like, but still didn't make sense. So I think he likes him as a person, um, but I do think that the flop dollar thing screwed him
that hurt
over
him
in
bad.
WWE.
And he says that it was built into an angle with him and Michael Cole.
Yeah,
And I do believe it, but I also believe, in WWE, a lot of times ideas will be put there and there's so much stuff going on that they forget it or they change their mind. And then, so we don't see the part where they was like, oh, this is leading to something. All we see is that the main commentator is mocking you every week on TV.
and we saw that. We seen that happen with the Chad Gable and Otis thing, which should have happened last year at SummerSlam. I
Yeah.
think, you know, that should have been a big angle instead of Chad Gable just pussyfooting around and them being slow to pull the trigger with the complete heel turn and babyface turn of Otis. Um, and that was just another. This top dollar thing seems like it was another thing like that where they just didn't pull the trigger fast enough so AJ could get the heat that he needed. Um, but I also think that Triple H was trying to maybe he knew that Swerve's contract was up and he probably wanted Swerve to come back, because
Yeah.
there was only two stars in Hit Row. It wasn't Ashanti or B-Fab. It was Top Dollar and Swerve. Um,
Which I think under Vince's run, he wanted Top Dollar to
he
be
wanted Top Dollar.
the
And I think Triple H wanted to saw that it was Swerve and didn't work out
I
either
also
way.
think Vince didn't watch any footage of them. He just seen a picture and was like, "Yeah, that guy."
The big guy, he got it. The little guy, little black guy, he ain't him. He ain't gonna do that. That one needs to be a football player. And Vince loves football.
Does he? I
XFL.
mean, I know he has XFL, but like,
Football and
like
bodybuilding were his loves before wrestling. You gotta think a boy in the trailer park. Come on now.
well, I say that. I mean, I guess I know he liked football because he had XFL, but like, I've never, you never hear him like, have like a talk about supporting a team or being at an NFL game or, nothing.
No, well, if you working all the time, you ain't gonna be at nowhere. Vince is known as a workaholic, working sex. That's all he needs.
Tony Khan finds time. It's just,
Tony Khan doesn't have a woman. Granted, Vince had a wife, children, and everything.
I don't think at a certain point, I don't think him and Linda had a relationship.
Oh no, but I'm just saying he still had to talk to her. They shared the house
Oh yeah.
together. They shared a house together for a long time.
You don't think
Even
Tony
though
got a girlfriend over
no,
there?
You over her, you over her. She's on top of you. She's banging you. And you're like, what do you think I should do with Mox? What? What do you think I should do with Mox? Oh, get off me! I mean, John, what do you want to do tonight? Do you want to? Do you and you don't want to put a bag on someone's head? Yeah, let's do it. You want to
I
finish?
I I think he could find him a a super fan to be his girl.
He's gonna have
That's
to
a
sleep.
weird.
No, he would rather be like Mercedes. Can we do it? She might be doing Mercedes.
Oh god. I do see him as the type that probably is fantasizing himself with one of them. I could see that.
See, Vince has dildos named wrestlers. He has pocket pussies named wrestlers. So there's Vince has his Bobby Lashley, but he has his little pocket pussy of Mercedes. Yeah,
Jesus.
while he's humping it, yelling CEO.
And that
Okay.
oh
Uh,
god.
it's probably quite nasty. But no, honestly, I don't. All jokes aside, I don't see him having a relationship with anyone other than because he wants to be in everything, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Like you got to fly over to Europe to go get your soccer team together. Then you fly
Yeah.
back to America to get your football team together. Then you go to your passion project, which is your wrestling. Who's dating you?
Yeah.
You know, because I'm pretty sure you're doing lines of cocaine to stay awake. There's no way you
That's what
don't.
the allegations are saying.
I mean, man, I don't see. I don't think they're wrong. I hope they're not right, but I don't think they're wrong. Because I feel like even with Vince, there was still a little bit of delegation. Like he'd be like, I don't feel like doing it. You know, Bruce, you do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But with Tony, I feel like he feels like he wants to be completely involved in every project that he jumps in. You know, because he loves football, he loves soccer, he loves wrestling. You know, and only two of them make money. You know, when it comes to attendance, wrestling makes money now, but it didn't make money for a while. You know,
Yeah.
uh, and it only makes money not because of attendance; it makes money because of deals. You know,
Yeah, the
Warner
TV
Brothers
does.
Discovery. You know, um, so with him, it has to be for love. So if you love all this so much, you don't have room for a relationship. You don't have room for a significant other unless it's you're doing one of the girls on the road that wrestles.
I don't see that one.
You know, you're over here. Come here, Harley Cameron. Let's go. You know, like something like that. You know, you don't even know her real name. I'm just gonna call her Harley Cameron whole time.
I don't think that, and I also think he knows better just off the Chris Jericho situation to not even involve himself in something like that.
Chris Jericho doesn't know better
He's an
though.
old man stuck in his ways. I, yeah. Uh,
You know, I'm really liberal, even though my wife's not. I'm Jericho. You know?
I only, I also, I really do feel like if the situation with Carly happened, I do feel like it ended with Chris Jericho doing the Hollywood thing. Like, you don't know who I am.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. I definitely. I figured that was one of the reasons that he took that dark turn with his character. Um, because it's probably happened, and he's just like, "Yeah, let's just roll with it in real life. Nothing happened to me, really. I didn't lose my job because Tony loves me. I can rape the whole crew. You know, I can go get Marina Safir, get her from the back, when nobody care. I can go get Renee, do the same thing. Mark's not gonna care because he wants his
and it,
character over.
and he also probably hasn't came to term that he isn't, Jericho from 10, 15 years ago.
He's
Like
not.
he ain't
Oh no, he's not that guy.
because WWE, they say he was pulling Kelly and,
Oh yeah.
doing what he, whatever he wanted. And and I think that's one thing, just not him, just all men. Like it come to a point where you go, oh, I'm not, and it's a hard thing, like I'm not what I used to be.
We all
And
get old.
Yeah, like
Eh,
that's just part of life. But
But I think it's harder for men with money because he's old,
definitely, definitely.
but he's still Chris Jericho. He's
Because when you don't have
still,
money, when you're a regular guy, you find that out pretty quick.
yeah.
Like, oh, my back hurts.
Hmm. Yeah, she. When I was 15 years younger, I could have got her, but you know, when I
But
was
when
15 years,
you still in there, you're still there wrestling. You're the
mhm.
Ring of Honor champ. In your mind, I'm even better than what I used to be.
I'm
All
still
right,
Chris Jericho, and I
yeah,
still beat The Rock and Stone Cold in one night. That was written, buddy. It was supposed to be Kurt Angle, not you. Vince changed his mind and said you needed it more than Kurt did, which you did, because Kurt was over without a belt. Jericho was over, but not as a heel.
no, but as a baby face, he would have been super over. Just that moment where they teased him beating Triple H for the belt.
I was when he did, but they overturned it.
They say overturned it. I mean, crowd went crazy.
Jer-
Um,
Jericho
and
was over, more over
yeah,
than anybody I think will ever give him credit for during that time. And that was the time when Austin wasn't around, because that was still Austin wasn't there. That was during that time when he was healing,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
and they needed someone that was good on the mic. And during that time, everybody talks about, well, the wrestling was better in WWF. No, it was WCW. Every match in WCW was better than WWF, except the main event. The main event was always with Hogan or Flair, and you're not going to get a great match between those two, because Hogan doesn't wrestle like that unless he's in Japan. you know, because he doesn't have a choice. Ichiban Hulk Hogan and Hulk Hogan, the immortal Hulk Hogan in Hollywood, they don't all wrestle the same. But you know,
They
it
also don't have the
was
same values because Japan Hogan said that WWF belt was a toy.
this just trinket, just toy. I want IWGP title.
That was so disrespectful.
And that's the reason he didn't have the belt until like 9 years later, because that shit was crazy. But Hogan to say whatever. That's the reason I say that the real person, no one ever knows who he is. Um, Hogan is a chameleon. If Hogan was in the hood, Hogan have a 40. He wouldn't even have real American beer. He have a 40. He'd take his bandana off, brother, and tie it around like I'm Tupac, brother, like this, turn in the front. All right. West side, brother. You know. Then as soon as he leaves, yep, got those niggas straight. Turned his bandana back around. Turn his bandana back around and talk about real American, brother. Getting his pickup truck. Throw up the rock on sign and then throw up the too sweet sign. He doesn't care. Oh God. But man, but when it comes to just man, when it comes to Hogan, he's the guy that no
Okay.
one he's the guy. To me, I mean to wrestling. I think
No,
when it
no,
comes
I hear you. I hear you. I I by the time I was actually like on my own watching wrestling, like my older brother, I was watching wrestling him since even as a baby, but
yeah.
since I was actually to tune in, um, my Hogan was Sean because that was who was the champ at the time. However, I will say at the same time is around when NWO was forming.
Yeah.
So I did like Hogan, but my Hogan was Hollywood. Uh, like I mean, like as a small child, like you obviously you knew Hulk Hogan if you watched wrestling, but
Yeah.
I didn't on my own really really like watching new Hogan to Hollywood.
And I get that. I get that. I get that. Hollywood, which
And
I
I did love Hollywood. I'm not gonna lie to you. Seeing him just beat up people and talk crazy, and no, I thoroughly enjoyed Hollywood Hogan.
Hollywood Hogan, I think was the closest we'll ever see of Terry Bollea
Which is scary.
in real life.
Which is
I,
scary because the way he talked in some of those promos, it did make me feel like that was his true feelings.
yeah, you know, I always go back to the promo when he was cutting it on Macho Man when the NWO was having the riff when the farming of the Wolf Pack started to happen, but they were still black and white. It was still one NWO, and he said, "You know, brother." He said, "You need to thank me because your brother wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for me, brother, because everyone knows he's a little, if you know what I mean, Randy."
I gotta go
And
find it because you talked about that
yeah,
promo, and I
yeah.
definitely need to go find that.
And I was like, not that you just called Lanny gay on TV. Like, and why would he not have a job in the WWE? Because Pat Patterson's been sucking penis for years.
I
So, stuff like that. I was like, yeah, I think you were wanting to say it to him, man. Like in real life, like it's
oh, definitely, definitely.
like you shoot wanted to say that to that man, and and you could see in his face like Randy was hurt and mad. Like, should I kill him now? That way I might not have a job, you know. Um, and we know Hogan had creative control, and he was like, "Oh, Randy got to go. Randy fired."
And you talk about people like shooting or talking about things. Like he cut that promo. He's like, if it wasn't for me, I'd be selling meat out of a truck.
In Minneapolis,
I
brother.
have no idea what
What
you were
that
talking.
was?
I didn't. I. It sounded cool, but I had no idea what he was talking about. I.
Until you found out that he was selling meat in the back of a truck in Minneapolis in real life.
But he says it like he says it as
It's
if
common
he
knowledge.
came. He said it like it was common knowledge, like we all knew this, and he also said it like he's the one that came and was like, "Eric, I got something for you."
I can get you a
Like he,
job.
like he put him on. So it was. I don't know.
Even though we all know if you go to WCW lore, Eric had the job when Hogan was the WWF,
Don't matter. The
but
winners
it
get to
didn't
rewrite
matter.
history,
Yeah, it's true.
in
And
this mind, it wasn't for him. He got Eric the job. So
exactly. But when he said I did it all for the money, I was like, yeah, but as by that age, I was like, don't everybody go to work for money? So I mean, you saying that you liked these children for the money, brother, because you got residuals because they bought your shirt. I mean, I wasn't too mad at him for it, but I honestly feel like I said that Terry Bollea is Hollywood Hogan. Um, you know, um, in real life, was he disappointed that he couldn't leave wrestling and be Hollywood for real? Yeah. The reason that we only saw him very limitedly on Nitro was because he was filming movies because he had that built into his contract so he could film movies.
which he also said in the promo. He said, "They promised me movies."
Mm-hmm. That's true. And all that was legitimately true. They promised me movies. And then he did have those movies afterwards because all those movies started to get filmed after he turned into Hollywood. So I truly, it's sad to say, but Terry Gene Bollea is Hollywood Hulk Hogan. It's it's a horrible thing, but Vincent Kennedy McMahon is probably Mr. McMahon more
Oh,
so,
definitely.
more so than we want to acknowledge. Probably more so than he would want to say, even as a
Well,
person.
it's funny because, like, in like the documentaries and stuff, like the WWE stuff, he'll be like, it's like it's really not that much difference between the two. But then now, since everything is going down, that's a character I played. That's
And in real life, it's probably not too much difference between the two. I think we could probably say that every wrestler, except maybe the Undertaker, isn't Mark Calloway isn't
no, 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 no. Biker Taker is
is Mark
100%.
Calloway. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Another character. That's I would say that's my favorite version of him.
oh, it's
Other,
definitely mine. And the
you know,
sad part is, it's like, oh, you know, that he would want to be right to Hogan.
with next to Hogan. But and I'm not surprised with that. A southern boy raised in
I guess
Texas.
I'm not I guess I'm not surprised now, but I guess my realization from back then was just like he was just a cool dude riding a
He was just cool
bike.
dude riding a bike.
But now looking back at it, like, oh no, he was always this.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not.
I mean,
It's no surprise.
I think the only people that I hear that when I hear them speak about politics and they shock me is Austin because he's liberal,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
him and Undertaker pretty much live the same life. Texas boys playing sports growing up, you know.
Sean
But
apparently is too.
and Sean is
And
man,
apparently, the only reason I think I knew because it was rumors that him and Road Dogg was having
yeah,
an argument at
hmm
NXT about
hmm
politics. Which
yeah,
why are we having this during the show?
they're in
Why?
the show. But okay, so I've I've worked in the warehouse
Okay, all right,
up
that's
until
fair. That's
recently.
fair.
The warehouse that I worked at was all black people, but there would be one or two white people, right? And they would come in, and I was always cool with the white person because I like wrestling, and that's evidently identified as white. But anyway, so but we would get along, and they'd be like, "Well, you must know that," and they would say something that I'm conservative to a point. I will be completely transparent with that. I am a conservative human being. I live a conservative lifestyle. I don't go out. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I do nothing. I do nothing of you know what I'm saying. I go to the gym, and that's it. That's I go to the gym. I watch wrestling. I play my video games. That's it. And I hang out with my kids. Like my life is the boringest, oldest, manish stuff like this. But I'm not so caught up in my own bubble where I know like, well, this is an unjust. Like this is wrong. So I know that dealing with a certain line of people, you're going to get into that type of mindset where we might have to get into it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, with Hogan and the Undertaker and Road Dogg and Shawn Michaels. Um, Road Dogg Southern man, like South South,
He is, but all right. And that's again another thing is just a kayfabe thing. I guess younger me from
because he
seeing
hung out
him in
with him.
DX and him and K Quick,
Mm,
I always thought he was, he was as a kid I thought he was down with us. But then I guess as a part there was like it was always there and I just didn't know. Like I guess I forget about him and Jeff Jarrett.
mm-hmm,
And then I've seen a clip of him and Ron Killings from TNA,
mm-hmm.
and he's like, "What's up with black people liking something?" And I was like,
Why
"Who
would you
allowed
say
him
that?
to ask this question?" I was, and then I was like, "And this is Road Dogg. Why would he even think to
Why
say
would you
something like
say
it?"
something like that?
Yeah, and it. So I guess it was always there. It
But
was,
before there was Road Dogg, there's the Armstrong family. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
There's Bullet Bob Armstrong.
But it wasn't until like I guess a certain time period that I didn't even know it was a part of the Armstrong
Armstrong.
family.
That he was
Yeah,
Armstrong. Yeah. I mean, you have to look back to before he went to the military to see that he was an Armstrong. But prior to
yeah,
that, but with him and Sean, but you also have to think he wasn't part of the clique in real life. Like
right, right.
He wasn't Sean Waltman, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall,
And I
Triple
didn't know
H.
that until he did a shoot interview about them, and
Yeah,
it was around time Voodoo Ken Mafia was doing
yeah.
stuff, and he said a couple of things like he said Triple H would be like, yeah, man, let's have fun or something. He said you guys can do whatever. And he said,
Mm-hmm.
he'll be out back there, smoking or something. He said Triple H should
Snitching.
go, yes, and then and then also there was a time I guess is when he was struggling with drugs and whatnot
Mm-hmm.
that he and this is according to him. He says Triple H told him, I guess you got that Armstrong curse.
Which could be true. And that's not a good thing. Like Brad Armstrong in ring was one of the best wrestlers of all time. If you watch some Brad Armstrong matches, like sound crisp.
Hmm.
His character work was trash. I think Road Dogg got all the character, and he didn't the not the real character. Like I heard he was a real character. Like he was a person in real life that made you laugh. Um, that could do a rib, but he couldn't be a fake character like anyone. Like he couldn't act. His acting skills were trash.
Yeah,
And that
that's
happens.
understandable.
That
Yeah, yeah.
happens. Um, so, but with Road Dogg, when I found out, I was like, he's not really part of the clique in the first place. That was X Pac. X Pac's married to a black woman, and he walks around carrying a dog all the time. He's liberal, and you know,
But
uh,
yeah, but but Road Dogg was, well, at least at the time I thought him and
the
Billy was
character
super cool with Xbox.
was,
Xbox was a click. I guess I just thought everybody was,
was friends in real life,
yeah.
and I can see why you would think that, because it was they played it flawlessly. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You know, they had in ring chemistry. You know, but then you look at people that were real friends. To click Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash is the most is like liberal. You know, on his podcast, all he talks about is liberal stuff
Yeah.
for the most part. You know, and then you have Scott Hall. You know, God rest his soul. I don't know what he was, but you know, seemed like he was
I
pretty
don't I
liberal.
don't I don't think he even thought about
I don't think he gave a damn.
it.
He was living life, man. You know, he done killed a man. He's and he
And never
didn't
got over it
and never got
apparently.
over it. You know, so he wasn't thinking about stuff like that. You know, Sean Waltman, he's having sex with China and doing lines of coke.
Oh my
He's
God.
he wasn't, you know, so obviously he's living a liberal life. You know, but then when you see it, you got people that hung out with Taker, people that hung out with Sean, and everybody else. And there was a lot of everybody else. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Uh, you know, so I'm not too shocked. But a person that does shock me with their political views that isn't too far either way is JBL.
You know what? I respect JBO in the sense that, like, I know he's, proud Republican, but when I listen to him talk,
Yeah,
he is understanding.
yeah.
And yeah, so I
So
salute to JBO.
so him when I heard him speak about politics, you know, he didn't sound like Hogan and the Undertaker. Didn't sound like Mick Foley and Batista or Kevin Nash either.
Because all those guys are, you know, far on the other side. Like it's
Hmm.
just like and super passionate. And I get that. I don't I just because of the fact that I don't trust the US government, I can never be that far on either side.
Yeah, yeah,
I guess
completely.
I'm far as a liberal, but like I'm not far as like oh man, everything would have been great if Kamala won. No, I don't believe that.
No, no, no.
But like it's just yeah, whatever. No, but I do think the problem when you're that far, I don't think you can talk to anybody. Like it's just when you're that far on any side, you're problematic. Um,
Exactly. I completely agree.
and then and that's unfortunate, but that's how we are now. That's.
Everybody has their opinion and their reason why they're you either with us or against us. It's gang mentality, Bloods and
Yeah, yeah,
Crips.
yeah, yeah.
You know, and you know, and the Bloods and Crips ain't fighting that hard no more. This ain't
No,
90. This ain't 95. They're like, my cousin's a Crip. I ain't gonna kill him, and I'm a Blood. I'm not gonna shoot him in the face. I'm just
yeah,
using
yeah,
hypothetically. I'm not gang affiliated, but that's the way it is.
yeah.
That's the way it is now. You know, he's like, yeah, you Blood Crip. I don't care, bro. You know, we're not in a gang war right now. It's the tattoo that I have on and the set that I claim.
But yeah,
Um,
now friends and family is like that. But Jimmy Carter's funeral just happened, and Trump's
mhm.
next to Obama.
And they were chopping it
Which
up.
yeah, and laughing and joking, and Trump. And this is sorry, I don't mean to go on a tangent about him, but he says, "Oh yeah, we look like we were friends, and we probably are." But it's like you boosted your whole campaign off the idea that
Smearing this
uh
man.
yeah, and it's just like
Do you say, oh, he's a piece of shit? Then you send him a text. It's just business, bro. I love you. Like, what do you do?
I think in a sense because he said all that crazy stuff about Kamala, but I
Yeah,
mean days later they were at events shaking hands, and
Yeah,
I'm trying to think what event was that.
but and I know me personally, I couldn't do that. If someone was like, you dirty nigger, and then be like, oh, what's up, bro? And I'd be like, I don't know if we could
Yeah,
be
I
cool.
can't, I
I might
can't,
not.
I
I
can't
might. It
do it.
might not be on site, my guy, because I'm an adult. But
Yeah, yeah,
you
no, no,
know,
definitely.
but it's definitely not. We not cordial. Like we gonna stay away from each other. We're not gonna sit next to each other. And the stuff he said about Joe and him and Biden were cool, as well.
Yeah,
Like
I
they
mean,
had
all
a
the crazy stuff he said about
cordial
Hillary
conversation.
and him and Bill Clinton, like
They
were
friends.
friends.
They're real life
But he's saying,
friends
"Oh, as soon
hanging
as I
out.
become president, she's going to jail," and it's like, what?
Hmm. You're over here saying about this man's family, but obviously nothing happened to any of them.
Yeah,
Uh,
no.
she's fine. She was at Jimmy Carter's funeral. So none of these things. I feel like a lot of this stuff is just talking crap. I feel like politics is WWE in some way. Like they're cutting promos
Unfortunately,
on
it
each
has
other,
become, and it needs to get back to how it used to be, where it was just boring people talking about taxes.
and
I need that. I need that back.
I respected that. I feel
I did
like
too. I thought I was just not mature enough for it, and then now I feel like everything is too
that's
immature.
I would
Yeah.
yeah. When I see the headliners Cardi B and Hulk Hogan, I know the world's not serious. Because neither one of them can tell me how to vote.
No, no, and there's
You
no
know,
disrespect to either, but no, Cardi was saying whatever she had to say, and then Hogan was acting like Donald Trump was his hero, and I
hero.
still don't
He's
understand that. I
when they
don't.
shot my hero. I'm like, bro, no, please don't do it. Stop it.
Which in
And
real life, if he was at an event and Trump was
mhm,
getting shot at, he would have
he put Trump in
told
front of
to
him. Die for me, brother, because that don't work for me. Hell, that work
J-
for me. I'm not ready
Jimmy
to
get the
fight
get the
Randy.
Jimmy get the car started. We out of here.
Jimmy, you stand in front of Trump. All right. And then the next day, when Jimmy Hart and Trump stood in front of me, brother, you put them in front of you, dude. That's a lie. Stop lying. It's quite funny. Uh, but yeah, when I saw Hogan and I saw Cardi B, and I was like, Cardi B, Hulk Hogan, Megan Thee Stallion, and Chris Rock. I mean Kid Rock. No, no, like no. This
Which
isn't.
I mean that they at those conventions they do get celebrities, but I think at this point where everything is supposed to be like this is life or death, we everything inflation is going this high, these serious issues are on the
Yeah,
board. I feel like it should be more of a serious situation, and and in different years in at these conventions, then yeah, I get it. Throw out the celebrities, let's have fun. But right now, we sitting here talking about like if it as bad as you say you are, you're saying this is the economy's the worst, it's in the toilet. Then why? What are we celebrating? What are
exactly.
we?
There's no celebration. When you talk about mass deportation, and when we think about that, majority of the immigrants do a majority of the work, the grunt work that gets the shit done. Uh,
Which
you know,
he kind of did a weird thing, which we already knew what he meant when he talking about mass deportation, but there was a big thing about there's certain I guess like not passport, but a certain immigration status that allows like I guess like Asian Indian people to come in to do like work visa.
yeah, the work visa, yeah,
Uh, and so like I guess a lot of like MAGA tech people were thinking this was gonna prevent more of those people coming and taking tech jobs. But
and
Trump's like, oh no, I'm letting them come.
they can come. They can
S-
come. It's your gardener who's leaving. Okay,
And
that's
so
who's
like
gone.
so they always, they thought like, oh, the easy job is staying American, and
Hmm.
then but like the whole, they're taking our job thing now it's coming to you guys too, and
Yeah,
you were celebrating. But I don't know why you thought when you got guys like Elon Musk in the cabinet, I don't know why you.
I mean, but you only listen to so many people, not you. but so many people listen to only to the surface level stuff,
That's
and
true. That is very true.
you listen to surface level, and then you just feed on your own hate to what
But it's
you.
easy to, because that's all like the news would talks about.
That's
Which,
true.
to be fair, they don't have time to go deep and talk about,
Yeah, but I can say yes, that's all the news will talk about. But we're not living in a era where we only have the news, where we only
that
have,
that is true. That is
you
true.
know, I can pick up. I'm at a computer right now. I can type in anything I want to and learn what it is. I can pick up this cell phone and say, hey Siri,
They ain't got time for that. They only
turn,
want to talk
turn.
about why the eggs cost so much, and why Joe Budden and trans people are behind it.
That's true,
That's
and you know, and they lump in they lump in so many things with other stuff, like
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, they lump in, well, we're gonna get your kids and turn them trans with you know, we're lumping in the kids and the trans with the eggs, with the cost of eggs being so high, and no, they don't go together, but they're all on one side of the board, but they shouldn't be, you know. Shouldn't
yeah,
be, well,
yeah,
this, the liberals are about messing with our kids and making our food too much. Okay, you know, no, they're not. I mean, you know, no, it doesn't make sense, and it's made a divide within the whole world in any sport, wrestling, MMA, everything, football, basketball, soccer is the only sacred place because it's mostly foreign people anyway. So
yeah, yeah.
really can't mess with them. But you know, the divide happened surely within professional wrestling when the Hulkster brother and poor Jimmy came out, and then hopefully we don't see Donald Trump being reinducted into the WWE Hall of Fame because he didn't get his ring back. So he
Oh, they
got his
took his
ring.
ring.
Well, no, they didn't take his ring. We
Oh,
didn't
okay.
have. He's You don't see him on the Hall of Fame website.
Website. I
Uh,
don't think he cares.
what for? His friend don't own it anymore anyway. It's owned by The Rock.
Yeah,
You know, The Rock and the other people that
Rock's
seem to own.
apparently calling a check on him, and Triple H and them was coming to the White
Hmm.
House. So it's
Yeah,
fine.
you know, and giving him hugs at the UFC event.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
I
it's
mean,
it's fine.
it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. They're all secretly friends at the end of the day, brother. It doesn't make too much sense to me, but it's the world we live in. We live in a shoot our work scenario. We just don't know which one we're living in. You know, we don't know if it's a work. We don't know if it's a shoot, but we do know it's happening, and we should all probably be afraid of
Yeah,
what's.
definitely,
That's
definitely.
that's the one thing. Be afraid. Be cautious. Be aware of what's going on in the world because you don't know if it's going to go left. Because I'm pretty sure some of these other countries are getting tired of the comic relief that we seem to be getting from America. You don't want comic relief with somebody that has missiles.
No, not at all.
No,
Not at all.
nukes and comedy don't go together. Not where I come from. you know. But I can't. Speaking of nukes, let's talk about the biggest nuke in professional wrestling. I would like to call her Tessa Blanchard.
Tessa, you know, I, you know what? I don't care. I'm cool with her back. I don't. I think what she the situation she did. I think it was, yeah, she was in the wrong, but I don't think it is what people have made it out to be. I think it was more of a situation, just some mean girl stuff, and she
Yeah.
said some insults. Which I'm not defending her from saying that or
Oh
nothing,
no.
but I'm just thinking that's just really what it was. And I I don't think she necessarily is like a, hater of black people or whatnot. But I'm not also going to be the first ones who jump to her defense about that. I'm just, but that's the crazy thing about that is, people use that story, but after all that came to light, she still won the TNA wrestling title. With the final blackball for her was, during the pandemic, she didn't want to come back and give the belt up. That was
That's
when
true.
TNA was done with her. It wasn't the situation. It was the fact that she wanted to stay home with the belt.
That's true. That is exactly true. Um, the only thing I think the racist stuff hurt her was that she couldn't go anywhere else when
Oh
she
yeah, and
when
that
she.
was a dumb decision on her part. All right, you got all the stuff. This has got you in hot water. You stuck here. However, though, on the bright side, they made you the top dog over here. And so all you got to do is just stay here, play ball, and you'll be like Moose, and you can at least you got a job here. But
Hmm.
no, she messed that up too. And I guess she, said, I got my husband, I don't care, I don't need this. And then that
Did not
went
work.
sideways. And then
Poor
now like,
girl.
oh, I need a, I don't want to keep wrestling at these high school gyms anymore. Let me see what TNA thinks.
You
And
know, I'm
luckily they thought enough. So she got another chance.
definitely. I think if Jordan Grace wasn't leaving, she wouldn't have this spot because there wouldn't be no need uh,
But and
for
I've seen
her.
people say, like I've seen a rumor that Jordan Grace didn't want to work with her, but her and Jordan Grace were friends. Was there a
Hmm.
fallout or something? Or
I think with Jordan, it might have been the fact that she didn't want to play ball. You know, TNA was very gracious with Jordan because we've talked about this in the chat. Pre bodybuilding Jordan was just another chubby girl that could wrestle.
yeah,
Um,
who I had a crush on Chubby
uh,
Jordan.
and I saw that you and Shaw both fans of Chubby Jordan. I like Buff Jordan. You know,
She looks great. Don't get me wrong. She looks fit. She's ripped. I just sexually Chubby Jordan.
I get that. I'd bang Buff Jordan. It'd be fun. A fun strength wrestling match. Jordan leaving is a big deal. But I think them breaking down, breaking up his friends, probably had to do with the fact that TNA gave Jordan a chance. Nobody else did. Um, they
You
stood.
think she might have? You think she might have think like uh that Tessa was being selfish by not coming back,
Yeah.
and okay, I can see it. But I also think like it's like if it's my friend, like all right, I ain't meddling in that. I get a
Mhm.
point, and it's not affecting me.
Yeah, I see that, but be grateful, especially in the wrestling business. Tessa had a spot in WWE. She was, I forgot who. It might have been you, or it might have been Sammy. It was one of you guys posted the May Young Classic. Everyone that was in it,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and you look at all those people that were in it. A lot of them are still in the company. Most of them are still wrestling,
yeah, yeah.
and but Tessa had her shot it everywhere, and nobody gave her the ball like TNA gave her the ball. Like
But the
TNA
thing
didn't.
about it, but the rumor was she dropped the ball over there too. Now that is just rumor, but I feel like she there was a lot of hot, a lot of stock in Tessa Blanchard at that time. So I'm feeling like there might be some more truth in what she's saying. Like I don't,
It could
I
be.
just have a hard time believing that they just like, oh yeah, we just passed on her. Like I think I know the rumor was her and Ricochet got in some sort of argument. She said that didn't happen, but I'm assuming something happened. Maybe not the Ricochet thing, but something.
I mean, I think her and Trevor probably had. Trevor seems like he's problematic as a human being outside of the ring. If he's and if he's with an argumentative person, I don't think Sam is. So I think him and Sam will work, but I don't think he's gonna tell Tessa what to do. Her chin's too strong. She's gonna be like, nah,
Yeah,
bro. We ain't doing that here, cuz. This 50-50 relationship. You know what I'm saying? Trevor, you might be a man here, but you ain't the man in this relationship. We are both men in this
especially
relationship.
especially knowing what she thinks of people like him.
half breed, something racist. Well, I mean, I'm not going to even say it's something racist because obviously she's she's not dating a Caucasian man. She didn't marry a Caucasian man. She married a Mexican. Um,
Yeah, I don't, I don't think she's racist, but when it comes to white people saying racist things, I don't think it's my place to defend
oh, it's not mine or yours.
them.
If it's anybody's place, it's hers. It's not even
Yeah, yeah, like
a white
I don't,
person that we
I just
don't
think
know.
I would look weird putting on a cape for her. Like, so
Yeah,
she,
yeah, no, no, don't say that. Oh,
she's,
leave her to die, Clark Kent. Leave her to die. But with her, I think this is perfect timing for her. Uh, if she does make it to the E, which I hope she does,
oh
I
yeah, I
want
definitely hope she
I
does.
I want to see Flair versus Blanchard, and I want their daddies in their corners. And I wanted to
We ain't got much
WrestleMania.
time left.
I know they're both getting old, especially Charlotte. More so Charlotte than Tessa. Charlotte has more mouths than Tessa does. Um,
Always, I was just talking about both of their dads, though.
oh, the dads and the women. I think Charlotte eventually will. I know Andrade. Andrade's a Mexican man. I think he's gonna want some babies. Uh, you know, um, if we don't need 45-year-old Charlotte Flair pregnant.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, no,
she,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I get you.
you know, I don't. She doesn't have the time that Becky, because they're around about the same age. Becky already had her baby. Becky took time off, had the baby and all the other stuff. Oscar is in her late 40s. She is her early 40s. Oscar's not having any more babies. I don't think so.
But she
Uh,
already has kids,
and
right?
she already has kids. She already had her kids before she got to the WWE. Um, so many people that want children when it comes to wrestling have already done it. Jade already done it. But I know Bianca and Naomi want kids, and they get a little long in the tooth.
Yeah,
Uh, when it
Naomi
comes,
might change her mind on that.
she only got a couple more years before she has to throw in the towel. I have a geriatric pregnancy. Well,
I
she's
just
having she
know,
has one now.
I know she said like on Total Divas, she was like she don't want to be wrestling too much longer and she want to have kids, but that was so long
I
ago.
was like that was like 10 years ago. She's still
Yeah, so she might have changed her
wrestling and
mind.
kidless.
Yeah, so
She's still taking care of Jimmy's kid from his previous marriage.
and she might be cool with that, you know.
That could be super fulfilling for her. Because I'm pretty sure they're the breadwinners when it comes to. They should be anyway. I don't know what Jimmy's ex does, but I know she's shouldn't be making what Jimmy's making. Um,
Yeah,
but hopefully Tessa and Charlotte have a chance to do it, and we have a horseman. I don't need the four horsewomen to wrestle each other. I'd have anything at any event. I don't see Mercedes returning because Tony has so much money. She doesn't need to. Um, and the other three, I don't want to see them wrestle each other. Uh, I'm tired of Bailey at the forefront of any kind of anything. Um, Not saying go home Bailey. I just don't want to see. I don't want to see her versus Tiffany Stratton.
I think it'd be straight. I think I'm more tired of Becky Lynch than Bailey.
I would say that, but Becky's been gone for some months. I don't
Yeah,
want to.
I
I
feel
think.
like when she comes back, she's gonna get inserted right back into the title picture.
Oh, I'm calling. She's winning the Royal Rumble.
And that's highly possible. Like, see, I don't,
It's her or Charlotte.
I can take a Charlotte win. She's been gone long enough for me to miss her. She's been gone long enough.
She's
Becky,
been
no.
Becky not at all. At least Charlotte got hurt. I would love to see Oscar come back and get another W. But there's
Oh yeah,
nothing
yeah. No,
nothing for
definitely,
that. But I'm
definitely.
pretty sure we'll see her in a few weeks at the Royal Rumble. I know that they've already stated that Alexa Bliss is on her way back to TV, but that'll be a Wyatt Six type angle probably.
That's one of those things. Like I've noticed, like 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 somebody's supposed to be gone, long enough for you to miss them, and she can be gone. She's been gone for a minute. I don't miss her. I lets me know. I'm not an Alexa fan.
You are not an Alexa fan at all.
Props to the people that are. I'm not.
Carmella, that's another one. I'm ready for her to come back.
Yeah, I think she'll be back at the Rumble.
I heard. I don't know if this is true. 40-person Rumble this year.
I seen that in the chat. So at first I was like, "Who wants that?" But then I thought, like, "Wait a minute, I'm gonna be there. I want
Now I was gonna say. I think I would say as a person that's attending, I think we want as
that."
people that are attending. I think we want that, right?
But like, why? If
Um,
I was at home watching, I don't need 40. But
I mean, I think now you just want to do it so you can get the pop and the experience.
but yeah, but then when I remember it, I'm gonna be there. Like, oh yeah, I want this 40.
Because you want to do all those 80 pops because you're gonna have 80 pops.
Oh my god.
80 pops. Not and that's not including the matches, the Cody versus um, Owens match or whatever other matches they call is going to happen on top of the Rumble. But I know I don't. I want to get those 80 pops. I want to see who's coming. I always look for the Rumble for the surprises. I think we'll have some good surprises. The women's
Maybe that Zilla match was training for get Booker T ready to get in the Rumble.
again. That
Yeah,
wanna
he didn't look good the last time.
no that barely Harlem sidekick. Yeah,
Did he look better in the match with Zilla?
not really.
Oh, well, never mind.
The people I want to see, surprise wise, are like Joe Hendry. I want to see him do some. I want to see more TNA people. They haven't had too much crossover these past few weeks
No,
in either one of them.
so
But
it
I
could
would,
be saving that up for the Rumble. It could be.
yeah. So I would love to see some Joe Hendry action. Pretty sure Jordan Grace will make her jump because her last date is the 23rd, 27th, something like
Moose
that.
is somewhere begging to come.
We need some Moose Roman Reigns just action, just near each other. It doesn't have to be a match. Just be near each other, and then he gets a little spear on him, and then Roman and Superman punch him out the ring. It'll be all right. Or maybe we can. I would love to see Josh Alexander be in the Royal Rumble and have an interaction with AJ Styles.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be real nice. If AJ's even in the Rumble.
Hopefully he'll be fine. I think he's on the way to. I think he'll be fine by February 1st to
Hopefully
be
so.
cleared to be back. Because I would love to see that now that they actually give commentary on that this person was an IWGP or TNA or
Yeah.
MLW, anything that is not AEW. You know,
Yeah,
anything
they
that's
were
not AEW.
promoting backstory between Meechin and Chelsea Green about
From
TNA.
TNA. Yes. Oh my God. That was that. I love that. Like that
Oh
was.
yeah, definitely. Same here.
I popped. My biggest pop I can say from all these random mentionings. Now that they've opened up the true forbidden door, the WWE acknowledges that people watch other wrestling than them. Uh,
Yeah.
was when they acknowledged that Nick Aldis lost the NWA title to Cody Rhodes,
Oh, did they? I missed that.
and when they said yeah, and it was Michael Cole, and he was like, yeah, Cody defeated Nick Aldis for the NWA Heavyweight Championship, and I was like, okay, I'm down with that because there's so many people that I've had conversations with that WWE fans. I'm not gonna say wrestling fans because you knew
Yeah.
this. But WWE fans that seem NWA still has this. It's like, yeah, NWA, Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins guy. You might not know him from nothing else other than Smashing Pumpkins, but which he's
You
was
mean they
in
missed Tyrus on Fox News with the NWA Championship?
people that don't know. People that don't know. They don't know who Tyrus is. When I say Tyrus, they be like, who? Brutus Clay. Oh, the one that danced with Naomi that stole the Cats theme music. Funk is on the road.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's political. And it's but there's so many people that don't know that, that know the small things. That Michin has been wrestling for many years as when she was Jade in TNA,
Yeah, yeah.
and Hot Mess. little Jess, when she was the hot mess herself. There's so many things, so many just them acknowledging that these people existed, you know, outside of that. When they acknowledged that and Jordan Grace and Trinity in the Royal Rumble, when they
They
acknowledged that they
did. They
knew each
went
other,
over and then that was pretty dope.
that she defeated Trinity to be the Knockouts Women's Champion. Okay, thank you, because that's legitimately true. She did. She defeated Naomi. Uh,
And
and
they actually called it the knockouts because I remember the last time they called it the TNA Women's Championship.
championship when Mickey James had it. Another
Like,
person that if they have 40 people, they're gonna have to pull some legends, not just NXT people.
yeah, there was a rumor that Gail Kim might be in there.
Yes, I saw that. If Gail Kim comes, I'm popping just because the relationship has been healed between her and the WWE.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know she hated WWE, and she doesn't make it a secret that she hated
Oh yeah,
WWE. You know, there's no secret that didn't she didn't enjoy her time. That when Vince said, "Oh, people like Asian people,"
yeah. Jr.
you
said he
know,
had to tell them that people watch Asian
and
porn
porn. Hmm.
which how did he not know that?
Because I honestly, if we have a conversation, yes, we know that because we're normal people and we're not self-absorbed. We don't think that our taste is the only taste in the world. We don't think that I like big booty Latinas. Everybody likes big booty Latinas. Nothing else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And then when you see somebody, I like flat booty white women. You like what? Something wrong with you? God damn it! That's probably Vince's mindset. Buxom, big breast blondes. That's all men like.
I
In
guess
Vince's
that's what he.
eyes, because that's all Vince is like. Sables. Brock likes sables. God damn it. Brock's every man. No, he's not. Sable never turned me on ever. Not even as a kid. I was like, I like Sonny better. So
Yeah,
it,
I would go. I would say that I like Sunny better.
I
But
like the
Sable, but I can see why somebody would pick Sable because Sable had the more like she was like the mature like sexual look.
yeah, true, true.
Sunny was like girl next door.
Sonny looked like she could have fun. Like you would have fun. Sable seems like you would have to spend half your paycheck just to see a
Oh,
nipple,
definitely.
to see half a nipple of
But
Sable. Sonny seems like, yeah, I'll pull it out just for fun. Which she was. That was Sonny. That was Tammy Lynn Singe. As Shawn Michaels,
well, she was gonna do anything for Sean,
Mm. Ask Dolph Ziggler. But she was old
which is
then.
wild that he was like, you know what, it was a childhood dream. I'm gonna go for it.
It's a bucket list item. It's like me meeting Hogan, only not sex. You know, it's a bucket list item. Man, I jacked off to Sonny. I wonder if I can get her. Yeah, you can get me. All right, let's go. Here's my hotel room. Let's go right now. I did Sonny. Well, he probably has an STD, but
And she was the one that went to tell people about it. It wasn't even him.
I mean, she pulled a young man. She's an old lady, you know. So I'm not mad at her for that. I'm disappointed in him for that, if anything. But Sonny was Tammy's a very she'll never get out of prison, but she got a lot of stories to tell. Never get out of prison, but so many stories to tell. Because she does not know what she is. Well, she knows she's not getting out of prison ever for the rest of her life. So Tammy's gonna die in jail.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, man. JR should have took up on that offer.
Could have saved her.
No, JR would have been on drugs too. JR would have been doing coke online, talking about it's a slobber knocker and I'm slobbering.
Yeah, it could have went one way or the other. It could have. It could have.
I don't think he would have been a good influence on her because he wasn't emotionally okay after Jan died. He said that many times.
He don't seem like he still is.
I don't know why JR has a pity job.
Because he's Jr. And Tony's a Mark, so yeah, he still sees golden age Jr.
And he needs to give he needs to give Jerry Lawler a job too.
I don't think Jerry Lawler can leave Memphis anymore. So
He can do it remotely. Just set it up from his house and be like, "Ooh, puppies!" He can yell when he sees Mariah May and Harley Cameron have a hot girl graps, as they call it.
that would be a horrible idea, and I hope nobody gives it to Tony. But I'm gonna need to go. The wife is ready to bite me right now.
All righty, brother, no problem. Once again, it was an honor to talk to you, young man.
Oh, same man, much appreciated.
All righty, we will see you guys later. Peace.
See ya.